Hello and welcome, Draft League fans. Today we're going over some DPL stuff, coming soon to theaters near you. So if you're watching this live, or like the day I posted it, signups are still out for DPL until midnight tonight. So from right now, that's 7 hours. But yeah, let me just go ahead and link the stream for people in my server. Link down below, of course, if you want to join my server. Want to catch streams live, that's where I'm posting all of them. But yeah, for now, we're just going to go over some DPL 9 stuff. I'll actually go ahead and post that in the DPL server as well. So the plan here is we're just going to kind of chill out a little bit, talk a little bit about these captain cores, maybe look at last season, some stats and stuff. These logos are super nice, by the way. Really happy with these. Shout out to Obi. What's up, V? What's up, Keegan? Yeah, the plan is we're just gonna waffle a bit. Got signups here. Signups still open, of course. If you want to sign up, join the DPL Discord server. There is a channel called Season 9 Signups. Just put your info there. Not a Google form this year because people in previous years have been, a little bit, let's say disingenuous. Ooh, you are loud. What's up?
I apologize. Hello.
We got Walt in the chat.
H.
Yep, so true. So, being on CFG is shameless though. What happened to the DPL I love? Mayo sign up? Yeah. Talk, the only thing coming? Pause. TJ sign up where? Good one. St. Pat's Day around the corner. Dude, TJ hacked me in DCL. Apparently it's St. Patrick's Day every day. Anyways. I'm also in call in my Discord server if anyone wants to join. We're just kind of chilling out. I know Walt's already in here. I know Jay Scurf said he might join at some point. Anyways, these captain duos, right? Got some strong ones this year. We have Addison and Zazo. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? Zazo just got done hard carrying last year in DPL, where he took the last seeded power rankings team all the way to a chip. That was Doublade vs Goliath, captained by Yahoodles and Sun. But now Zazo's a captain, and he's captaining with Addison, someone who's just coming off of an 8-0 run in DCL. So in terms of like recent performances, this is a really strong duo. As well as, Zazo just came off of a finals appearance in GG Inc. We covered that in our recent stream as well. What's up, everyone? Marshy the GOAT. Yeah, we'll get to Marshy, don't worry. So, Skrelpy McSkrelper Mock Kelp. Now, this is a stupid-ass name, and I really desperately begged for them to change it, but they were adamant on this one, so, I mean, whatever, man. Got the logo here. It's just Skrelp. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Guys, we have a very serious issue. We have 22 people watching right now and only 1 like. We need to get on this, people.
We do need to get on this. Like the stream. We gotta hit that algorithm, as they say. Oh my god, Ant just to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's awesome.
Dude, we love Ant.
Yep. Anyways, we got Zero Fox Given as our second captain core. That's gonna be me and Zing. So Genius X. I think also, no bias, but a very strong captain core. I just won DCL like a few months ago. Genius, he got finalist, I think, in DCL, finalist in DPL. So perma in finals, one of the weaker cores. Shut up. So I figured I already got a chip with Infernal Armory. I got a chip with Wigglytuff's Guild. Those two like brands, I guess. So Zero Fox Given has been in several team tours, and they went to playoffs, they went to finals, but haven't won the chip yet. So we're looking to change that this season. Very strong if they manage to round off the core with Yurdunk. I don't think Yurdunk signed up, unfortunately. Anyways, I mean, both of us are probably considered top few in the format, like very strong. There's a vote on Smogon for the Hall of Fame or whatever. Not Hall of Fame, but like the best draft player of the year. We were both like top 4, I think, behind Hacker and Sage. So Sage, obviously I get it. Sage had an absolutely fantastic year this year, but Hacker, that's just because people recognize him on Smogon a little bit more. But yeah, really strong players. And then drafting under the influence with Panda and 100p. Again, 2 fantastic players. Panda from Team Canada has been really popping off. He also won DCL on my team recently. 100p, I mean, he had that 8-0 run a few years ago in Sword and Shield. So, also fantastic logo. Shout out to Ovi. But yeah. So what else to say about these? I know 100p is mostly just signing up so he can just play as a captain slot rather than have to go into the auction and stuff like that, which is fine. Obi is the GOAT for sure. We got a familiar face, Trick of Eye, returning once again with II at the helm, but this time LowQP is his second man. Now LowQP, that might be the GOAT right there. He had a really big break in between when he started, and then now recently he's come back after a hiatus, and he hasn't missed a beat. This guy's always been like incredible. But yeah, so strong captain cores across the board so far. We have Pardon the Eruption, fan favorites, right? Hunter Z Infected and Joshua Watt, also known as Ace Trainer Josh. So yeah, these guys, they hosted a podcast kind of thing, like a recap kind of show of DPL back in the day. Good to see him back. Hunter recently last year had a really fantastic Sword and Shield run with Rain, so bringing some innovation there. Best core by a mile, so true. Best team name, so true. Mega Camerupt is very cool. It's the only Pokemon that I make shiny when I use it. Better bring back the show? Yo, we can hope, right? Let's see. They will? It's confirmed? That's actually awesome. One day you'll convince me to do shiny Aegislash 2. Nope, only Camerupt. Anyways. So like 2 old heads, right? They've been around for a million years. And pretty consistent performances as well. Hunter may be the less consistent of the 2, but Josh has like pretty much always performed in pretty much every season he's participated in. What's poppin', Jay Ricky? How we doing? Alright, next up we have Balio World Tour with Soggy Doggy Sage, who I mentioned earlier had like probably the best individual performance last year in 2024. Like she won the circuit championships, won DCL, made finals in DPL. Like really, really fantastic year. Second best draft player after Hacker, so true. And then co-captaining with Scribble. So Scribble, I've teamed with in the past. Really impressed with this guy. Drafted him with Darkrai, Professor Shuckle in the chat, as my co-captain. That was a good season. But yeah, should be a strong core. That's my scout, my GOAT Scribble, so true. The Balio World Tour. Now Scribble captain in DFL to, let's say, not fantastic success, but he also, I think he's a really good player. And then Soggy Doggy Sage as the co-captain is obviously a massive upgrade. So if you have like a free Soggy Doggy Sage to slot in your roster every week, chances are it'll be pretty good. You have your doubts. I think they're probably going to just draft people that they know, which is perfectly fair. We've had captains do that in the past to varying success, but sometimes you can get that really nice team culture going, and it just snowballs into everyone trying their hardest. That's probably the best part of team tours, is when people are really trying. So if they can get a bunch of friends together and like make a push, that would be cool. More so doubt the strength of the roster they'll put together. There is like that concern, of course, but I mean, I'm sure they'll have synergy. What are the stars at the top for? So the stars are how many captain slots they bought. So you default to 1 captain slot per week, and for 25k, which is a steep price, you can start both of your captains in any given week. So far we have like 5 teams that have self-bought, so they're going to start both captains, and then 3 that are saving the 25k for the auction. Right. Start sweating for J-Ricky? Yup. Alright, we have Slime Season next. Really cool logo, by the way. I like this one a lot. This is Marshy and Dawn Midst. Now, these are 2 players that have been doing a whole lot in the background, right? Oh, we went hard on that logo? On God. So, Marshy, if I remember correctly, got MVP in a recent team tour. Dawn Midst is coming off a really fantastic DCL performance. I think they both have some recent captain experience as well. So in terms of like new faces showing up to like a DPL captain slot, this was a pretty easy choice to make, right? So true. Yeah, I'm really... when's the auction? It's tomorrow at noon PST. So in 19 hours about? I think 19 hours, yeah. That's a crazy thing to whisper in someone's ear. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, 8 p.m. GMT. So, Marshy and Dawn, I'm really excited to see what they do this season. I think they should be pretty motivated to do well. And then our last captain core is Dino Crisis with Dougal and Nathan. Tough captain core. Yeah. So Dougal and Nathan, the name recognition is not quite as much there as with the other captain cores. But the reason we decided to go with this captain slot over someone else is because these 2, they go way back. And what I mean by that is, they kind of like work together for like 7 years or something at this point. And so both of them are really, adjusted to each other's styles and stuff. They work well together. I know they're going to be able to make a really good team environment. These logos are so fire. Let me go ahead and show the Dino Crisis one. It's a little bit cut off. Aw, shucks to Pluto. They go way back to the bottom of the standings? No. So this is one where it's like, it's pretty similar, I think, to the Sun Yahoodles captain core. Yeah, you have fun planning the auction? Yeah. So I think this is going to be a similar situation to the Yahoodles Sun core, where it's going to be underrated on paper, but the team environment is going to be really nice. I think they're going to be really smart in the auction. Dougal's someone I've captained with before, has played in DPL for many seasons. Nathan, maybe not so much, maybe a little bit lacking in the experience, but when he does play in some of the other team tours around, he does tend to perform pretty well. Did you eat the pizza pre-stream? Well, no one's joining the call, so I do have to keep waffling. So I got my pizza here, but am I just going to eat pizza and you guys watch me? I don't know. Someone else can talk if they want. I'm in the VC in my own Discord channel if anyone wants to join the waffling. Take a break for some pizza. But yeah. Dougal's gonna join? That would be swag. You could talk about your own team if you want. Dino Crisis. Yeah, what's up, Dougal?
Hello.
Alright, tell us a little bit about your team. And it is a pizza party, so I did bring my own pizza. I'll eat a slice.
I mean, yeah, we've just been like having a ton of fun planning. Like, we've been like, DMing pretty much like everybody in the player pool. We have like a long list of like who we want to like go for and like you know, we have like, I think like multiple avenues we can go down to, like if the auction isn't going like the way we expect it to or want to. So like I feel like we're really prepared.
You DM'd me every day for the last 9 days in a row.
You're not the
Reconfirm or
only one.
deny?
Like, he's not the only one. You know, it's been everybody. But you know, I think we should like. I think this is the most like work I've ever put into an auction like this. So like, I think we're gonna draft a very strong team. Like, I feel like the goal is to win like a championship. I think we'll put together like a really strong team to like compete for that.
Yeah, I knew
I
you'd
think
put
it'll
in the
just be
work.
fun.
Like,
Yeah.
people were doubting the pick a lot, especially because,
Which
you
is
know,
whatever. You know, it's fine.
there were a few teams that were really in contention. It was really hard to choose this spot. But this is what we went with, and, you know, hoping it works out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be fine. And like that's like I like that we have the extra budget to work with. We can kind of like use that to our advantage with guys we want.
Yeah, it's a bigger advantage than, like, DCL, where it's only a 15k self-buy for the captains, but in DPL it's 25k, which is a lot more significant. Like, last season we had someone, Yahoodles and Sun, they didn't self-buy, and thus they had the capital to go for, you know, Zazo. And Zazo was able to
50,
do a lot.
55K
I mean,
on
it was
him.
expensive,
Yeah.
for no lie, but they were able
It
to
was
spend
worth
that
it.
much, and then they got some like really nice sleeper picks, like their low price guys. They also overperformed, so you capital go for Zooch. So true.
Like
But yeah.
I saw people like hate on this pool a lot, but like I like it a lot, especially for like the like more like mid to like 10k players. I feel like there's a lot of really good value there. Like I feel like we did a ton of work like on, you know, who we want to go for. So I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you to leak your draft plans or anything.
I'll do that after the
We have our own plans as well.
the auction.
It should be a fun one. This DPL season. Got the signups here. Make sure this is on the screen. There. That'll be due. About fine. We got some good signups here. I don't know. It's hard to really comment on these too much without leaking my draft plans and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I don't want to mention.
so
like,
maybe
names,
we'll
but, like,
we'll more so look at the draft board, which has seen some pretty big changes in all gens. How about that?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Is there like big changes to the XP board? I don't really remember all of them.
So last season's SV board was a little bit of a different scale. Right, the top Terramons were 21 points. X does mean Terraband, yeah. The parentheses one is their Terra price. It's Terra tax.
Talk about players? I don't know.
So what we did last season was 21 points for as a max Terra guy, and it was like a 30-point Terra budget. So what we did this time is kind of took the Smogon seasonal draft board as a base, and then some stuff that I disagree with from that draft board, I move stuff around, but not too much. Like, it's overall going to be a pretty similar draft board with the same 28-point Terra limit with up to 3 users. I found that was really successful in stuff like the World Cup and the DCL. So seeing the success in those tours with that format, or no, it was the circuit championships. That's the first one that they did, because I was like, we should try this, you know? Right?
Yeah,
Was it 28 in DCL or was it 25?
it's 28. Oh, I didn't play in DCL, so I don't know. I didn't even sign up.
No Terra Latios? That thing's broken, dude.
We allowed Latios last time, and it wasn't a good idea.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it was 25. Yeah, the 28 is like somewhat recent, like in the past
Is that
3 or
what
4
we're
months.
doing?
It's 28
Okay.
up to 3 picks for Terra. And let's see. Major hot takes in this draft board. We have Latios and Latios at the same price for the first time since like 2016, like Loki.
I
Remember
think,
back then?
I think Latios is still like good. I don't know. I feel like I'm the only one that drafts it though. Like no Terra Latios. Like I used it in like winter seasonal, and I used it in like the draft circuit championship.
Is
Like,
even same route too
I still
high?
like
He
the mon a
says.
lot. What's up? Oh, too high. How much do we have it at?
14. I think that's more than reasonable.
I thought it's usually higher, so like I think that's fine.
This is draft Premier League, yes. We're looking at the
I
draft
noticed-
board for this season.
I noticed we dropped like Excalibur down to 14. That's usually like a little
yeah.
higher.
Usually Bax, Kyurem, Bundle are all the same price. But I think
Yeah.
for the price, you'd much rather have Bundle and Kyurem, so we dropped Bax by 1. So there's at least a reason to draft it over the other two. Yeah, Kyurem's literally better than Bax in like pretty much every way.
Like unless Bax with like Terra, like you know,
Pizza.
but it's kind of broken with Terra.
Yeah. And then let's see. I also, just for myself, I made sure Rapid Strike was more expensive than Single Strike because I'm literally right.
Yeah,
I think Seasonal has
like,
16 for both as Terras.
I think Rapid's better with Terra and Singled's better without Terra.
Fair enough.
I think Metagross is really good. I think it's one of the best like skill types in the meta.
Yeah. Well, also, Annihilate is pretty cheap in this. 14 points to Terra. That's only half your
And
budget.
12.
You can get stuff like Annihilate plus Iron Moth Terra. So it really opens up some of those combinations. Let's see. What else here? Terra Blaziken is really cheap.
Nobody
Oh,
like.
did we
I
say
never seen
15? I
anybody
think we
draft
did, yeah. 15 is
Yeah, it's
cheap
at
for
15.
it. So the thing is, it's like pretty much undrafted at 16 and 17. So
Yeah.
figure if it's gonna be 15 and that gives people to draft it, go ahead, be my guest, It's like probably underpriced, you're right. But we've just never seen it before at the higher prices. So maybe this gives people a reason to run like Blaziken offense builds. But as it stands right now, it's just not drafted enough. So maybe we'll see a change this season. Then the Necrozma effect. Maybe, yeah.
I used like Terra Necrozma when it was like, and I spent like 19 points on it. Like it was not good.
Yeah.
Especially for the price. It's like a 1-for-1 kind of mon.
Quick, where's Hydrapple? Right here, 13 points to Terra. Which is a little bit higher than the Smogon draft board.
Your dunk killed like the apple, now it's too expensive.
Yeah. More expensive than Sinistra, which feels right,
Yeah.
Hop in for a bit when you get to Sword and Shield if you find that valuable. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll get there in a few minutes, right? Alright, what else here? I mean, the low tiers, I'm really not too bothered by. There's a lot of, like, low price stuff here.
I'd like to point out that, like, Bait the Rude dropped, like a pretty good bit. Like, it's 11 points now instead of, like, where we had it last time, like 13.
Yeah, like, Base the Rude.
Terra's 19.
You have to give a pretty good reason to not Terra use a Rude. So seeing it a little bit cheaper, highly unlikely we'll see a non-Terra Zarude, but hey, you never know. What else here? Ceruledge is cheaper than last season, I'm pretty sure, at 12. Hasn't had too fantastic results recently, but it had a really good, like, first SV season, when Terra Screamtail didn't move up. Shocker. Is Zarude and non-Terra Zarude the biggest gap between price and Terra attacks? I think it might be.
It probably is. What do we have? Radiant
It's really
Bolt
close with Ogrepon. Ogrepon's a 7 gap. Zaruda's an
Yeah.
8 gap. I don't think you're really beating
Gold is
8.
6. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not.
Where's Superior?
Or
Superior's
don't
down
we
here
have it
somewhere.
at like pretty low?
It's 7 to regular and 11 to Terra. Regieleki has the biggest gap. That's banned though.
Yeah. There is no gap. I feel like Terra Teal Pond's always like 17. Maybe like the base is lower.
I think it was 18 at some point. 17 feels about right for it though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Say G-King Loki feels pricey for how it does in practice. Where do we have it at 15? I mean, I think 15's totally fine. You see it like pretty much spammed, like never really not
Yeah.
drafted. You're always gonna see that snow core with G-King plus Curum slash bundle slash whatever. Yeah, Serp has been overpriced, but also like I thought it would be better than it actually is. You know, I'm sure I'm not alone in that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we do have is Espathra is a little bit more expensive than seasonal. I think 10 points is a little bit crazy for it. It's not that bad, you know what I mean? So 12
Right.
puts it at a point where you can't exactly get 17 point Terra plus Espathra, so tame
feel
down
like
some of
it's
those
a-
duos.
I feel like it's a mon where people, like especially in like DPL, know how to like prep against it more than they did at the beginning of Gen 9, like in regular
maybe, yeah.
leagues and stuff like that.
The thing
Like-
is, Espathra, like it can do some crazy stuff. It's a noob killer kinda.
Yeah.
What it does
that's
really,
what I was
really
thinking.
well is force prep. It forces a lot of prep. So I think just that alone is worth a little bit more than 10 points. Like you have to respect it or you will lose. Why is Terra Hydrapple not 18? Yeah, I'm trying to push it as high as I can. 13 for now. 10 points is probably expensive for it. Nah, we're definitely different opinions there. Anyways, something I do want to see is Terra Cress. It's like 9 points right here.
I drafted.
I want to
in
see people use
seasonal.
it.
Yeah.
Whereas Sableye? We
Sableye.
did bump up Sableye by 1 point, and Rotom. Both of them are 6 points now. Which means, you know, you might have a reason to draft some of the cheaper ghosts instead of them. Ape Terra seems
Terra.
really cheap. You mean Annihilate or Infernape?
Infernape.
Or what? A top 16? Congrats, man.
Nice job.
You say Terra
I think he's
Crest?
talking about Infernape.
Maybe, yeah. You say Terra Crest so I can Lunar Dance with it? I mean, shout out to Zazo who used Terra Latios to Healing Wish. That was awesome. Terra Hydrapple might be broken, but I'll never draft it because it's ugly. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
It's crazy. I love
Skarmory?
I love
Skarm
the
is like
apple.
9 points, right? Yeah, 9. 1 less than Corviknight. Terra boosted Healing Wishes, yep. Anything else that we really changed here? I think the ghost types are the main one, right?
Yeah. Lapras maybe. I think we moved up a little bit.
Lapras
too,
is
like-
2 points, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, everything 3 and below is cut off on my stream, unfortunately. Is there anything down there that we really made a change that's actually notable?
I don't really think so. It's probably just been adjusting things by like 1 point or so.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. Did Fortress fall to like 3? Fortress is 5. My goat. You did put Healing Wish on it one time? Shout out. Anything else here? I think we moved Araquanid up 1. Maybe we didn't though. Maybe it was 6 anyways. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, the Recordman's not bad. I think we did move it up.
Mm-hmm.
Hello for 8. Was that always 8 or?
It's been 8
I don't
like pretty
remember.
commonly recently. The Dunsparce and Rhyperior respect. Yippee! Where do we have them at? Where are they? Rhyperior at 9 to Terra. Yeah, that's definitely...
That makes sense.
It's one of the best secondary Terra users.
Yeah.
And then Dudunspar's also 9. Yeah, Diancie 9. Like, really common secondary Terra points. Yeah, Dirge was really expensive for a long time. And people were using it, is the thing.
Yeah.
What else here? I mean, that's pretty much all the notable stuff, right?
I think so. There's probably like things that like
Oh.
adjusted like by 1 point or
Weavile
2.
at 12. This is a change that we
Oh.
made. It was 13, and it was getting drafted in like the seasonal and stuff and like World Cup, but never in like the actual big team tours, DPL, DCL. So Weavile to 12. It might be a little bit underpriced at this point, but I think it's worth having at 12 just so it gets drafted, because we've never seen it at 13 in a team tour. Weavile at 12 means Grand has to be 11. So true. Keldeo, Quack, and Urs were all the same point value. Oh, Urshifu, you mean? Yeah, I mean, Urshifu has stood the test of time. And I think Keldeo's on its way back up, low-key. 12 points for Keldeo, that's a good price.
Yeah.
Top tiers, not really too much changing here.
The turtle moved up a bit.
Yeah, Terrapico's at 17.
yeah.
Did we move anything else?
Um,
Not really, I don't think.
Yeah.
Compared to
I
like
don't think
seasonal,
so.
I think it's a pretty much the same. When is Terrapico's going to be 18? Next season, probably. I made a prediction like pretty recently where I was like, Terrapico's is probably going to be 18 in a few months. But for now, it's
Yeah.
probably 17 still, is reasonable. Is King Gambit just ass? I mean, King Gambit started off the gen pretty hot, and then has really cooled down since then. 16 points is kind of cheap for it. I think there is value to be had drafting it for 16. That being said, though, I mean, people have kind of figured out the best prep paths into it. So yeah. Maybe like its most quote-unquote broken set is somewhat easy to prep for these days. So you have to be a little bit more creative with it. That being said, it's still fine, you know? It's not horrible. Definitely usable. Especially at 16, you know? Hopefully we can see some innovation. I'm hoping so as well. And Glop, if you want to hop in, we can probably head over to Sword and Shield. Which is going to be a big change from last season. Which last season was already a big change from the previous season. So SWSH is making some really big strides recently. He just at Glop on Discord. I don't know if he's paying attention to the stream or not.
Mhm.
But he did say he would join for the Sword and Shield.
Yeah, Addie did like a lot of work to
Yeah, this is basically
with
Addison's
Sword.
draft board. We kind of just let her do whatever she wanted with it, and then do like a once-over look afterwards. A few suggestions here and there, but for the most part, it is just Addison's draft board.
Yeah, I was actually going to preface and say that she had run it past me about a little over a month ago, and I was like, she basically just wanted to get a second opinion on some of the changes that she was hypothesizing, and I thought a lot of it looked pretty sound. We only disagreed on like a couple things. Give me just a second. I'm pulling up the draft board on my phone because I can't really like watch the stream and have it
Oh,
on
yeah.
my phone at the same time.
Mhm.
So
For sure.
where do you want to start with? Do you want to start more at like the lower tiers or up with the higher tiers?
I think we go
We kind
top
of
to
started
bottom.
the higher. Yeah.
You want to start at the higher?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, realistically, nothing much has changed. The biggest thing we've seen over the last couple seasons is Cartana notably has gone up a lot in terms of
Mhm.
price. You know, a couple seasons ago, if you took a round one cart, you were kind of looked at as a clown. Nowadays, it's becoming a lot more common of occurrence. In fact, you can probably check. I think last season it went round one in both pools. So Cortana's definitely seen a big uptick. That's why we're seeing it up at 16. If you go back to older seasons, it was down at like 15 and 16, which was kind of
What's
crazy
that?
to see.
It's at 17 now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going up a little bit here. The top tiers have all pretty much stayed the same. Me personally, I would swap probably Coco and Torn T, but obviously everybody has a little bit of a different opinion on that matter. Torn is by no means a bad mon. In fact, I think a lot of rosters, like, it's really easy to miss getting a mon or two that actually helps you versus it, to where I feel like it just kind of auto wins some matchups. So I understand why it's up there. I just think that it's definitely been figured out more with time.
See, I'm of the opinion that I think Torn is underrated right now, even at 19 points. People are letting it drop to like 4th pick, 5th pick, stuff like that, which I think is just not correct.
Well, I mean, for me personally, the way I like to approach the game, and specifically the meta of Galar decks, I mean, I personally think it would be like 4th or 5th best. Like my own personal rating probably goes Chomp, then Coco, then Lando, and then Torn. But you know, I might be convinced on a crazy day to take, you know, Zera instead of Torn. It really just depends on what kind of team I want to put together.
Yeah, I think Chomp number 1 is like no contest. Like it just has to be number 1.
Yeah.
Then I could see the argument for like Lando, maybe even Zeraora, but I'm just not a Coco believer right now in Sword and Shield.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm potentially biased because I did win my chip with Coco.
Yeah, maybe.
And every
yeah.
time every time I've played in Swish, I've always been pretty much using a Coco. The thing for me that is so nice about it is because one of the biggest problems with the Swish board is that it's really hard to get your hands on elite speed.
Yeah.
And so getting Coco early just opens up a lot of prep paths in the builder. And on top of that too, I would argue Coco is the best enabler in the entire format. Like you could say Torn is good at enabling because it has knockoff and U-turn and all that.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah, but Coco just enables like many different paths of offense. I think the problem we've seen historically is that people are so rooted in the old way of like, get Coco Teeny D-Knight and it'll be good. And it's just like, we've seen this draft 100 times, right? I think people need to explore pairing Coco with other dangerous threats to actually get the most value out of it.
For sure, yeah. People do tend to get like locked into cores that have existed in the past and like, well, may as well, right?
And I kind of want to touch on that because I really think that's a big reason. Like, obviously I don't follow like ORAS, USUM as closely when it comes to like changes on the draft board, but I feel like Swish has been really stagnant for a long time. Like we haven't really seen any major changes on the draft board. And that's why I'm genuinely excited for this season, because as we go a little bit further down, you're going to see there are some pretty big changes that were made. And I think it's going to make for a lot more of an interesting meta, because I think people have it in their head that Swish is just this really boring fat meta. And it's like, yes, there are some very strong defensive mons. But if you look at historically what kind of teams have succeeded the most in team tour settings with Galar decks, it's actually more of like the bulky offense and offense teams that do the best.
100%, especially recently, right? I feel like the Spectre ban has really opened up a lot of structures that you couldn't do previously, or at least it was risky to do earlier.
Totally, right? Like nowadays, you don't feel obligated to get a good normal. It's like the only guys you got to look out for realistically, it's like the rare Blacephalon.
Yeah.
Gengar never gets drafted. That guy's just on fraud watch, right?
And Blacephalon is like so revengeable, where even if you don't have a switch into it, you can always outspeed it. Like it's not that fast.
The big problem with Blaze is that a lot of times it really like its best sets are choice, right?
Yeah,
so
always.
Because of that, as long as you're able to keep up adequate rocks, like you should be able to handle Blaze in one way or another, whether that's through a good choice scarf user or some kind of priority user. There's almost always a way to keep it in check. Like usually that guy will get a kill or two, but that's about it, as long as you play it right.
Yeah, I agree.
The only other ghost that's kind of a concern and it's kind of uprisen lately is Aegislash. I think in past years, people didn't really consider Aegislash like a valid threat in Swish. But TDG has used it a lot recently to good success. I've used it in like leagues outside of DPL where I thought it was good in Swish. So I'm happy to see that it's kind of getting a little bit more notice.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe 4 or 5 really good steel types in Sword and Shield. Like Kartana doesn't really count in this category, but like Steela, Aegislash, Melmetal, and Scizor. I think those 4 are just like really, really strong, and you'd be happy to have any of them on your team. And then I could like say Ferrothorn, I like. Maybe it's less meta as the other like 4 or so.
Right.
But It
And
does like fall off pretty heavily after that.
that's actually something I kind of want to touch on, because I think a big problem with Swish is, like, especially when we're talking about steel types, is historically they've all been overpriced as hell. So like if you kind of move down the board a little bit, and you look at guys like Excadrill, you look at Jirachi, Metagross, like historically they've all been very expensive, like especially Drill for no reason. Like we have not unironically seen somebody draft like T-Tar Drill in Swish in probably forever. So I'm really glad to see that it's dropped down in price, because like now you can almost maybe make a case for standalone Drill.
Yeah, 13's fine for it.
I do think Fairthorn gets better being a little bit lower price wise too. Number one, just because like when it's cheaper, it's easier to make a case for it. The second thing too is, as we saw, Hunter had a fantastic season using that rain team, and it actually kind of put Fairthorn on the map for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But one of the things I'm really excited about is that we find like there are just certain guys in this board that have been historically just overpriced as hell that have finally actually dropped. So like one of them that comes to my mind is Starmie. I want to talk a little bit about that, because like Starmie is one of those rare fast mons, and good spin is like damn near impossible to get in Swish, right? It's just like Stoys and then Eldegoss and then like nobody else. Like those are the only two real spinners. So if you don't get one of those, you're pretty much like confined to getting a defogger. But Starmie being dropped down to 9, I think actually makes it like a viable consideration for teams, because oftentimes it was at like this 12 point. And it's like realistically, like, yeah, you can still use the offensive sets, but if you're drafting Starmie, you're pretty much getting that guy for spin. And a lot of times there's better bulky waters you want, like Slowbro or Swampert, right? Depending on how your team is structured, even like Slow King in some cases. So I think dropping Starmie and making that more of a budget pick opens up like different team structures to where you're not going to feel like everybody has to run boots every game, because that's what some people feel like Swish is. And I think that like you shouldn't have to feel that way about Swish. I feel like boots is just like a nice thing to have. I don't think it's like a cornerstone of the meta.
It's a tool in the toolkit, right?
Exactly right. Yeah. And another one that dropped that oh, go ahead, Dougal.
Oh, I was gonna say I like that Zygarde's cheaper because that's my favorite Pokemon. So like, I want to see it used more.
Right. Like I can't remember the last time I've seen that guy drafted in. And it's again because it was always just so high priced. Another one I'm really excited about is Skarmory, and I talked to Eddie about this at length, because I was like, there's just no good like cheap, like Skarmory was like 12 points for the longest time, and it's like nobody in their right mind was ever going to draft a 12-point Skarmory. It's just too much of a cut into your budget, when like we've already discussed, there are other steel types that have so much more utility to them. Why would you just not get them,
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you see like in Swish, if you have to get like a poverty steel type, I mean, you're seeing really bad stuff like Copperaja, or like people are trying to cope as like Klefki or Mono, and that just doesn't work as your only steel type. And like I think Skarmory could maybe have some small niche, because like good spikers are kind of hard to come by in Swish. Like I feel like it's usually just rocks is the one hazard you actually focus on getting. So making more spikers viable via like making them more affordable, I think is a good thing.
So you like making some of the spikers cheaper, but also making the spinners cheaper. Gonna keep things more balanced in that way.
Yeah,
Also,
it kind of balances
thing,
it kind of balances out.
That I just noticed, Skarm is only 1 point higher than Steelix. Steelix is 8 points on this, which I think
and
it has been, right, pretty recently. 8-point Steelix.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say right now that's the toxic effect. Like that is toxic mon, right? And like it is a good mon in terms of roll compression. It gives you a lot in one slot. I do think it has some problems in some matchups that are like when the opposing team is just a little bit too fat, it can really feel like dead weight.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff in for free.
But in offensive matchups, right? Like you're able to get like Rocky Helmet Chip on a Cortana. You're almost always able to get off like a Toxic or a Body Press on something. It's good roll compression. Like if you're like a couple mons in, you're like, shit, I don't have a ground or a steel. Like Steelix is one of those mons you can just kind of like round 4, round 5 get, and it's probably fine.
Yeah. Arctazol is at 5 points by mistake instead of 18. So true, so true.
Good catch.
By the way, I'm sorry if I haven't been seeing any of the chat. I don't have the stream open, so if at any point, feel free to interrupt me if you want to read, an interesting comment, or if somebody had a certain question about something.
Yahoodles was saying 8-point Mence is funny. I think that's definitely a crazy one. 8-point
That one
Mence.
is a little crazy, but bro, nobody drafts that guy. Like if you go back to the last 3 DPLs, not a single team in Swish has ever drafted Salamence. So I
Yeah.
think part of what a lot of these drastic changes are meant to incentivize is that we want to sort of like, we want this to be a sort of Swish renaissance where we want to see people like tap into their creative ideas and be a little bit more explorative. Because I feel like in Swish, it's been so easy to fall into the same damn patterns over and over again. And I think that contributes a lot to why people think the tier is boring, because the teams never change, right? It's like when I'm watching USUM games, I feel like 1 week or like one season I'm watching like Charizard X sweep everybody, and the next season I'm watching Mega Pidgeot be top of the leaderboard. And then the next season I see like Zero Aura gets all the... It's just like, I feel like there's something different every time. Whereas in Switch, it's like, oh yeah, Chomp won that game. Oh yeah, Torn won that game. Like there's literally never anything different.
You have like
Right,
your seasonal change, like small edit to the Theo build, and then at mid someone copies it mon for mon.
Right,
It's always the funniest thing to me. Like y'all
bro,
think
no,
y'all
that shit is
you
so
want to be
goofy.
Theo so bad, and you just can't be Theo.
So bad. And it's like, and it's funny because like Theo obviously has found tremendous success in Swish, and I have a lot of respect for him as a player and the way he approaches the game in this particular format. But like, I think people like, they get it in their head because they see him as one of like the leading people, one of the better players in Swish. They feel like his style is almost like one of the only viable styles, and it's like not at all. Like if you watch players like TDG and I bring like some of the most hyper offense shit you'll ever see in the format.
And you've been doing it for years.
Literally, we've been doing the same shit for years, bro. We've been drafting the Blastoise, Pangoro, Rhyperior.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we draft those funky ass offensive guys. But it's like, those are where you're getting a lot of your value from. And I think that people just, again, they have it in their head that Switch is this really fat metagame when it doesn't have to be. And so I think
region, switch, boots, spam.
Right. Because that's what it was at the start. And again, I think a lot of this comes back to the fact that we haven't seen the draft board change very drastically, is why it's been so stagnant. And even despite the fact that the draft board has been stagnant, there have been changes that many people probably haven't noticed. Great example I want to talk about is Keldeo, right? Like if you go back 3 seasons ago, Keldeo was never drafted in Swish DPL. And a big part of that is because Tapu Fini has kind of like started to really fall off. And also nobody drafts Toxapex anymore in a serious format.
Yeah.
So because of that, certain mons like Keldeo and even Darm G have started to see an uptick, because a lot of these like fat ass waters that we always would see be drafted have kind of fallen off. It's created openings for these like niche offensive mons to make their mark in the meta.
We had Keldeo on like one of our band chaser teams last season, like, and it did like really well. I think, like, you know, like I think you created that team.
I did. That was the draft. It was
I used it for my only win that season. It was a really good team to use.
Yeah, it was like Mel, Lando, Weavile, Keldeo, Dragalge, Uxie, and then we had clowny ass Delmise, which was not good.
Shout out to
Delmise. The last 2 slots were kind of cheeky. I think at the end it ended up becoming a Selgor Turtonator, which actually was like pretty fun. I was quite impressed by what Turtonator can do, and I'm sure all the loyal L5 fans can attest to the competitive integrity of that mon based on his past videos. Yeah.
Wait, guys, we got big news. Gypsy King signed up, so
big.
I feel like that's notable to announce on stream.
that is definitely streamed.
That is large.
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
And just as big of an announcement, Keegan has signed up.
No, he didn't. He signed Mayo up for Mayo.
Oh, true. Fake Mayo sign up. They always get me with that one.
We need at least one a season.
Yep.
A few other mons like I wanted to kind of touch on. A big one that comes to my mind, and I had been literally like, you can go back in DPL any chat and you can find me saying something about it for like literally over a year now, was Snorlax, right?
Oh, true.
And again,
yeah.
I think a lot of because bro, the problem is that right, like a lot of the like Swish initial placements on the board for the mon was done by, like, no offense, like a bunch of old head boomers, bro. Like, I know in ORAS he's the GOAT, I get it, and even in USUM, like, he still has his niche, but like, you gotta understand, when every team has like a really good steel type and Rocky Helmet is around every corner, and there's Magic Guard and there's Intimidators it's like, bro, Snorlax cannot do anything in this format. It's like literally everything checks that guy. It's like every matchup you're going to run into a Steelix, a Rhyperior, you're going to run into a Metagross, you're going to run into a Melmetal, and you're just not going to do anything.
Yeah,
So I'm really happy to
Melmetal's a
see
tough
guys
one
like
for
him
sure.
drop down. Because okay, like for example, like you look at the draft board, like let me look here, give me a sec. Like I was
Yeah.
talking with TDG about this, and I was like, bro, would you rather draft a Blissey or a Snorlax? And he's like, I'd rather draft a Blissey every day. He's like, at least that walls some of the like top tiers. Like at least I can like throw that in versus a Kyurem, or I can like use that versus a Blaze. It's like with Snorlax, it's just like you get chipped by everything. It's hazards and it's helmets and it's just scalds that get thrown out left and right. Knockoffs around every corner. It's just not a favorable environment for him to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, I see your point, of course.
Even some guys like Celebi finally dropping, which I think is great because like low-key, I love Celebi. I think it's got a really
yeah.
unique little kit.
For sure.
But
Celebi's hard to use though. That bug weakness.
Bro, it's like timid Coco U-turn doing like 44% to you minimum is just not a great feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can't switch it on T-Bolt and then like recover off the U-turn.
Right. Another interesting change I saw was Alakazam finally being dropped down to 8 points. And again, that's kind of like, because like low-key,
Finally.
the role that Zam brings to the table is just not, like you don't need it in Swish.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, it's cool, he's fast, but that's all he is, bro. Like he's just fast. Unfortunately, the meta is like there's too many bulky guys and there's too many like viable choice scarf users where it just feels like Zam is just never gonna like do the things you want it to do.
Yeah.
Like literally, I would rather draft a guard than a Zam, and the main reason would just be because at least it has Trick. Because like, bro, Trick is like one of the most broken moves in all of Swish, in my opinion. Right? That's one of the things that sets it apart from ORAS and from USUM. Right? Is that like in that there's some counterplay to Trick in the form of like Z crystals and Megastones. You don't have that option in Swish. So literally, if something gets tricked in Swish, like it's just dead.
Does Zam not have Trick? I thought it did.
I think it does. I think you're actually right. No, it has had that since Gen 3. I'm capping. Low-key,
Me when I
I'm
cap.
just pushing the Gardevoir propaganda. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
get
pushing
it.
the Gardevoir
I get
propaganda.
it, bro. I get it. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, oh, good.
well, maybe some of the reason why the tiering change has taken a long time is because, you know, stuff like Salamence, for example, this is like the biggest example in my head right now. It was like maybe 11, 10 points, maybe 12 even at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it did get drafted one time, and it was actually really impressive when I saw it. That being said, I'm pretty sure it was Zazo using it, so there is that to say. But
Right.
when I see him on drafted at like 11, 12 points, and it does really well, I have a hard time dropping it even like 2 seasons after, because I know in my head, oh, back in season whatever, it popped off, so it's a reasonable price, but if people aren't drafting it, they aren't drafting it. So maybe that's partly on me, of course. But like that's a little bit of the reason why some of these Pokemon have stayed at a higher price. Where like in the past they've done like really, really good seasons. So I have a hard time dropping them past that like by several points.
That's fair. And obviously, you have a tough decision to make when it comes to drawing a balance between
Variety
I want this format to be
integrity.
balanced and integrity, but I also want to like breathe life back into it. And I really think that this season is an opportunity to breathe life back into Swish, because I think that again, most people historically don't enjoy watching those games, and it makes me sad because I really enjoy the format because I feel like some of the most like how do I word it? I feel like there's room for really dynamic games to happen.
The
and I'm not just talking
is
about
really high.
like creativity, and also just like in terms of games aren't going to be decided on just like 1 or 2 crucial turns like in Gen 9, right? Or like in Gen 7, like, okay, like I cheesed the hazard removal early and I got off the big Z move and now I'm just coasting and it's just like a sack war and the game's over. Like I've seen that 100 times. I feel like in Switch, it's like there's a lot more of this like this fight for positioning and this fight to like the sequence of the breaker and the wall and the breaker and the wall, and you kind of like see that rinse and repeat, and it allows for more like dynamic play to happen. Like personally, I actually prefer a little bit of a longer game. I'm not saying I like a stall match, but I'm saying I like when a game takes a little bit longer to develop, because to me it requires and it demonstrates like more skill and nuance on the player's part. And I feel like in Swish, I feel like the better player always wins.
Yeah, it's
So,
like there's
like,
no.
some-
You can go
Unless your
ahead.
name is
I was
Scrappy
gonna-
10 and unless your name is Scrappy 10 and you freeze everything with freeze right here, I'm like me.
I was gonna say, like, I noticed in Switch, like, sometimes there's been games when somebody gets, like, way ahead, and, like, then the other player, like, really, like, comes, like, starts out playing and brings it back for, like, a really close win. And, like,
Mhm.
you know, I feel like you don't see that as much in, like, you know, ORAS or, like, USUM.
Right,
I
it's a
think
lot
you
more
can-
prone for like
yeah.
a snowball. It's like once that
Yeah.
momentum is going in there, like usually it's maintained.
Mhm.
Whereas
Well,
in
that's-
Swish, there's a lot more room to like fight for the win. I feel like.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that Sword and Shield feels like it has less like really big buttons to click. Like there's Kartana, there's Kyurem. Those are some pretty big buttons to click, but overall, the number of just like click a button, get a kill Pokemon is a lot lower than in like Sun and Moon and SV.
For sure.
Maybe even
For sure.
ORAS, right? But so you do kind of invite these longer, games which tend to favor the skilled player more.
Yeah.
Right. And just for me personally, like that's always what's drawn me to the format. One thing I want to say, bro, like you guys got to stop the Blastoise glaze. Like I know he's good, but like you're putting like okay, like low key, I'm still gonna draft that guy at 13. But like,
But you're not gonna be happy about it.
if I'm not gonna. I mean, if he's 14 next season, I'm gonna I'm gonna be a little upset.
13 feels like the limit for Blastoise to me, unless it like
Yeah,
continues
like,
winning every game. Like,
Well, I mean, you put that shit in TDG and I's hands, and man, you got a recipe for success.
well, TDG is not playing this season, unfortunately.
Regrettably so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking at the low tier. Just want to see if there's anything else. Oh, we have to talk about this. Zing's propaganda unfortunately did work, and I have been brainwashed into, his cult, if you will. Eldegoss went up from 3 to 5. That guy is actually
Yeah.
a good spinner, and I want to talk a little bit about that because Eldegoss is like 3 to 5 is actually a huge jump for a low tier mon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the styles of team that we've seen be successful in Swish. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times, like the good Swish drafts, a lot of them don't even have a grass type. Or if they do, it's like a 2-point grass type or like a 3-point, like some shitter, right? And so the reason that actually benefits Eldegoss a lot is that like you would think, okay, this guy's just a spin bot and that's all he's going to do, right? But then when you're fighting a matchup with like Fat Water, Celesteela, Coco Chomp, fighting type, and random 6 guy who wasn't invited, right? None of those guys are grass types. And so in any given matchup, like Eldegoss just has this ability to like throw out a sleep powder or go for a leech seed. And like we said, when games are longer, right, your mod being asleep for more chunks of the game is going to have a bigger impact. Getting those repeated leech seeds is going to enable your defensive pieces to keep coming in and do what they want to do over the course of the match. And so I think just because like there's not a lot of like auto include grass types in the Swish format, it makes some of those low tier grass guys do a little bit better, especially the ones that have access to like the powders and stuff.
Yeah, if you think of like the dominant grass types in, say, Sun and Moon and ORAS, you're thinking Superior. What else really? I mean, Superior's the big one, but what else is like even common in old gens that is not present in Sword and Shield?
Well, Kartana, but like again, he's like kind of not a grass type, but kind of is.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, Kartana
I
gets
feel
2
like-
KO'd by
I
like
feel like
Pollen
it's-
Puff, so.
I feel like I see Rose Raid. I feel like I see
Oh
Rose
yeah,
Raid get
Rose Raid
drafted
for
in
sure,
there.
100%.
Yeah. And even Roselia, I see get drafted in some of the. Don't draft Roselia in Swish. That's just me. Like, do not draft this guy. He's bad. I don't
Right.
think I've ever seen Roselia win a game.
Roselia, we keep stats on how many times a Pokemon is benched, and Roselia is like, I think the second most benched Pokemon in DPL history, in like multiple tiers.
And you know the funniest part about that statistic is that it shows you that it's also one of the most drafted Pokemon
Yeah.
of all DPL history. Yeah, they
People
just say,
love to
yeah,
check their
actually,
boxes.
yeah, this
Grounded
mob
Poison,
that I paid 4
Spikes,
points for,
Natural
yeah,
Cure.
I'm just not gonna bring him. It's like, dude, unironically, you would literally be getting more value out of something like Garbodor. Like, because at least with
Well-
that guy, I can put up a spike and then blow up.
I really like stuff like Bouffalant, where it's like a low tier mon that actually, can attack. It's also
And do
bulky,
stuff,
like the
yeah.
bulky slow kind of thing. I tend to
Yeah.
think those guys tend to be the better low point Pokemon.
I agree.
you're looking for like low point
what do you-
speed, low point like hazard control, like it's generally not going to be very good. But
What are
they
your
got some
thoughts on
shooters.
5-point Darmanitan? That was a crazy drop too.
Oh, Darmanitan. I mean,
To be fair, every week you're going to be facing like one of the slow twins, so I kind of get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like so many good fire resists that exist, and every team's gonna have a good one. They're just gonna run Aki Helmet, you're gonna kill yourself with Flare Blitz. Like, sure, maybe you can get something done. It's only 5 points, so maybe that's like worth it now. But I mean, I'd be down to see Darmanitan this season.
Well, I'll say this at the very least. I'm much more likely to pick it up at 5 than I am at like 8 or 9 or wherever it used to be.
Mm-hmm. Didn't we have it like 6 or 7 last season?
You know what? I've never even considered drafting him, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
I actually have it right here. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull up the stats, please. Jarvis, pull
So
that up.
last season it was 7. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that guy's always been like, he's always been in that cluster of Mons, and he's just always kind of looked like the odd guy out. Oh, you know what? There was one increase that kind of ticked me off. Bro, the lantern glaze is crazy. Maybe this is the Hobbita effect. Maybe this is the Paddox effect. I don't know. Like, me personally, whenever I face lantern, right, I feel like I have my Celesteela, and I'm just 2-hit KOing that guy with Earthquake. And it's like, people are like, oh, but it does so much in one slot. It checks so many guys. It's like, bro, it is so passive. When there's, like, so many fat walls, and there's so many, like, scary setup guys, like, having a lantern on your team can just never feel good. Because you're just, like, you're one turn away from just getting, like, set up on, or one turn away from just, like, letting Clef or whoever just heal up on you for free.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It kind of gets stat checked offensively, or like
Somebody wants to ask about like Diancie if like 9 is too high for it.
no, it's very
If
good in
9
Swish.
Well, see, it is good in Swish. I think, personally, though, I really only think the good sets in Swish are, like, the offensive ones, like the Trick Room Meteor Beam or, like, the Rock Polish Meteor Beam. I don't really like the defensive set because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, he doesn't get spikes in Gen 8, right?
No, only Gen
No,
9.
it doesn't.
Right. So I kind of feel like if I'm going to, like, throw a Diancie on the field, like, yeah, he's going to get up rocks, but then what? Like, what does he do? Like, he doesn't really offer anything.
I think the Diamond Storm body press sets are really strong, just overall.
Those are good. Yeah. But the problem is that, like, if you look at a lot of the high tiers, bro, all these guys get steal coverage. They all do.
Yeah, but how many
Like,
of them are
everybody
actually running it is the question.
Okay, me personally, bro, even if I'm running something mid-tier like Cinderace, if you got a Diancie, I'm putting Iron End on that guy. You better watch
Well,
out.
Cinderace, yeah, but Cinderace is usually not really worried about move slots.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I just like Diancie. It definitely get the job done. It can be like a temporary little like slow roadblock to things like Torn and like I guess it can like check Zeraora maybe.
It's a really shaky Zeraora check. I know, because I've teamed with Theo multiple times. Sometimes we've had to make Diancie something that's good against Zeraora, and you can never really cover everything. You have to like kind of decide if it's Calm Mind or Bulk Up.
Low key, the best thing about him is Heal Bell.
Yeah.
That is actually really great. That is great utility, right? Because, as we discussed, if you're playing Swish and you're having these longer games and there's more Scalds being thrown out, there's more Sleep Powders, right? Having a way to clear that is pretty useful. So, like, if you're looking for a good Heal Bell guy, it's probably the most viable one. In my eyes, I say that because a lot of the other Heal Bell guys offer no offensive presence, whereas, like you said, L5, like the Diamond Storm Body Press actually can, like, put pressure on.
Yeah.
Right. Or like Trick Room sets, like I think are personally some of the best ones. Just like late game, you get the chip on everything, and then you just throw off the beam and start cooking, you know?
Yeah. Yahoodles
like,
asks, has Heracross ever been drafted in DPL Swish history? Probably not,
no,
right?
but you know what?
Probably not.
But you know what, bro? I might be the one. I might be the one to change that. I'm not gonna lie.
7 points. Are we
7,
bringing
and
Sexy back?
he gets spikes. He has spikes. That guy forces switches. Okay, bro, low key. Okay, he's like the poorest man's Battle Bond Gren, right? Because like you run the choice item and then you put spikes on him. He just like spikes when you go to your counter, and then you know what I'm saying? and then he just sets up for his own sweep.
So awesome.
And it's genius. It's genius when you think about it.
That would be more genius if the Heracross switch-ins weren't usually flying types and immune to spikes.
You know, L5, I had a dream.
We can gloss over
kinda...
that, though. We can gloss over it. It's fine.
Yeah.
LRXC was asking, is Haxorus at 9 a steal? I think it's a dragon, not a steal, but because that's besides the point.
What are your thoughts, L5? Why don't you go ahead and give me your analysis?
Haxorus is like, it's a strong, like, outrage guy. Like, I think Scarf is, like, pretty decent on it, but there's so many fairy types and steel types that, like, just naturally check anything Haxorus can do. I mean, fairy types a little bit less so, but, like, steel types, they tend to be able to take on Haxorus pretty comfortably and not really have to even go out of their way to do so. Scarfers are usually up faster. Like,
yeah, its speed being base 97, I think, really hurts it.
I think Mence is probably better than Haxorus, but yeah, I'm letting Addison do the tiers.
So, for me, my thing with Haxorus is that aside from wall breaking, it offers nothing to your team defensively, right? When you think of dragons and Swish, you typically like the guys that actually, like, you can switch into shit multiple times. So, like, for me, I think of Dragonite, I think of Hydreigon, I think of, you know, those type of guys, Chomp, right? You can like, they have multiple entry points. Haxorus, like, you need a clean switch into it. So either you have to bring him in with U-turn or Volt Switch, and then even then, like, he's paper thin frail, so he's not going to set up on much. And even if you do get that +1 off, there's always going to be a Melmetal in the back. There's always going to be a Jirachi in the back. It feels like there's always 100 ways to just kind of, like, keep him in check, unfortunately.
It's like Melmetal, Scizor, Tapu Fini, like, even like Metagross.
Literally,
Clefable, Aegislash, they all beat it. Even Kartana can check it. There's just too much
to keep him in check. And the problem is that, like, if you want to spend 9 points on, like, a guy that could just, like, randomly pop off, I feel like, why would you do that when you could get, like, Obstagoon? Hear me out, bro. Hear me out, okay? Literally.
True.
Obstagoon is a point cheaper. It's a point cheaper. It's status absorb. It has 2 immunities, and it actually has enough bulk to live like a neutral hit, and it has knockoff, and it actually threatens most defensive Pokemon. Think of the big ones like Slowbro, Rotom Wash, Mute. All those guys get 2-shot. They get blown the fuck up by Ops. So it's like, why would I draft a Haxorus when there's, like, literally guys that are cheaper that can wall break just as much, but actually offer something to the team defensively and actually can switch in on neutral hits?
Yeah, I think Obstagoon has been, like, low-key a sleeper pick for a while.
Oh, it's fantastic. I really would like to see it get drafted more. I used it a couple seasons ago when I was on Noble Victory. We had a team with Goon. It was like this weird Hail team that Tox put together, and I feel like Goon always did, like, big work. Now, keep in mind, this is back in a meta when Spectrier was around, so, like, it was more important to have your normal guy, right?
Yeah.
But even so, like, I think there's still some merit to him in terms of, like, a breaker. You know, like, he's not the worst dark type you can get.
I mean, I saw Obstagoon get cooked by double kick Spectrier, so just a stupid Pokemon. Just a stupid Pokemon.
That's false advertisement. That stuff does nothing to him. He's hard body, bro.
I literally saw it happen. That's okay though. We can sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. I'm lifting the rug as we speak.
Yeah. Is there anything else, like, low tier that you wanted to talk about, or can we move on to Sun and Moon?
The only other thing I saw, the last thing I will comment on, and then I got to get back to work here. Dude, Dhelmise should not be 4 points. Like, low key, can you just make him like 2? Like, that might be the worst mon of all time. A brief 30-second tangent, if you will. We drafted this guy last season, okay? And I was like, wow, this is great. A spinner that actually has, like, offensive presence. Like, this is so cool. And then you realize that literally every single Pokemon that is higher than Dhelmise on the board outspeeds it and has a super effective move for it. So you literally never get a chance to come in and do anything with this guy because you just die. And it's so sad because, like, Loki, if you could get him in a Trick Room position, like, Poltergeist is really threatening actually to a lot of people because nobody drafts normal type. So it's like, you would think, wow, like, that's great. Like, this is big offensive damage. And then you realize it's a Dhelmise, bro. And it's so sad. He's got, like, one of the sickest designs in the whole series.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm just a fair warning. Anybody out there who's gonna play or draft and Swish, don't touch Dumb Eyes. That guy is not good. If you get it, you're just gonna be disappointed. You can't say I didn't warn you.
Shout out.
Anyways, I appreciate you having me on L5. I really like the opportunity to get to talk about Swish. And again, I'm really genuinely excited for this season because I do think we're going to see some more creative rosters, maybe even from myself included. So I'm really, really excited to see what people are going to come up with.
Yeah, good to have your expertise.
Appreciate it, guys. Good luck with the rest of the stream.
All right, peace.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Glop, everybody. So shout out to Glop. Very useful stuff. But we got some Sun and Moon to do. Dumb Eyes fan 50 mad quiet right now. That's so funny, actually.
Yeah.
The USUM, right? So, top of the draft board, the big thing is Mega Mawile is now on the draft board.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had enough seasons of like DCL where it's like, it's a fine mod, it's not too broken to actually allow it here. I was really against this change for a really long time because every time I would think about allowing Mega Mawile, like every season it was like, hey, maybe we should allow Mega Mawile this season. I'd go back and look at Mega Mawile replays from back when it was legal, like everywhere, and I would just see it kill everything every single game. I'm like, man, I don't think I should allow this. But here, I think the time has come. Kind of like similar to Lando Eye dropping in all of the gens, either last season or pretty recently. I think it was last season. Like, we took a long time to legalize Lando Eye in old gens. But
I think like we had the same thing with like Deoxys Defense. Like it's
Yeah.
obviously not on the same thing, but we never wanted to allow it.
well, for like the
like-
first maybe 4 years of DPL history, I had a philosophy that the draft boards should only contain Pokemon that were commonly allowed when it was the main gen. So
Right.
we can make price adjustments and stuff, that's cool, but ORAS draft is ORAS draft. We don't need to drop any Ubers back in there.
Mhm.
Uh,
I think now we have the
that's a little
mentality
outdated
of like
these days, but
yeah.
uh,
I think our mentality now is to like build the like best and healthiest meta like that we possibly can.
yeah, we want
You
to
know,
develop
that's
the
why
meta.
we adjust all the time.
hmm Anyways, Mega Mawile is now back in USUM. Yeah. Is there anything like super big in the top tier stuff? I think Zygarde went up one price, did it?
Yeah, I'm sad about that.
Yeah, it
wish
went up
was a little
one,
bit cheaper.
But that was a long time coming, if I'm being so for
Yeah.
real.
We're not. We'll free USUM Darkrai when we free XB Zygarde Darkrai. Don't
So
worry.
true, so true. When is Protean Gren getting free? Never, bro. Never. He's
It's
already
for-
broken it with
Yeah,
Torrent.
he's also already free in XB. So.
Yeah, he is free. You can just play SV. All good. Maybe a big drop up here is Clefable, right? Clefable was 16 points. Hasn't been drafted in a
Mhm.
long time in USUM, so drafted to
least
13
13.
points. Pretty drastic. What else here?
Mega Guard I know went down.
Mega Scizor went down 2. This is because in DCL it was 16 and wasn't drafted, and we had it at 17. Like, well, may as well go to 15 at this point. Diancie was drafted one time in last season at 17, but then I think was drafted at 16 in DCL a decent amount, but still not a perma pick. So 16 felt reasonable to drop it here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we changed?
Did Ape go up? Because like I don't remember Ape being 16.
Infernape? No, he's been 16 for a while in Sun and Moon.
Oh, had he? Okay.
Yeah. Hydreigon dropped a few points. See, Serp went up to 15. People have been drafting Serp at 14. Like, I think last season was the first time we had Serp at 14.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept getting drafted like round 2, like really consistently, like really early. And then it's actually doing really well in the actual games as well. So Serp 15 felt reasonable. What else here? Mega Medi dropped 1. Haven't seen Mega Medi in Sun and Moon for a while. 14 point Gothitelle. Look, Gothitelle is never dropping. Deal with it.
Can we
I
just
don't
ban
like
it?
encouraging cheese. I mean, it's
I'm
functionally
I'm the
banned.
opinion of like wanting it banned from like every tier. Honestly,
Hmm.
I think you're the same mindset, or at least somewhat similar. Like I know you wanted it banned in FB.
I banned it in Gen 8 Plus because that's when it gets Cosmic Power plus Stored Power, which is just stupid to have on a
Yeah.
trapping mon. But anyways, anything else super big up here? We dropped Mega Gardevoir down to 11. That's something.
I mentioned that.
Hmm. What else did we really change here? 13-point Victini is staying. That was a crazy change from last season that we're keeping.
Mm-hmm.
Why no Victini price rise? Well, you see, it popped off in DPL, but then in DCL at the same price, it was undrafted. So, like, what are you gonna do, man?
We should drop Yard. I don't know. I don't think we need to drop Yard.
Let's see. Yard was drafted last season at 14. Like, fair enough, right?
It's gonna be drafted again. Like Greg wants it to whatever team drafts him.
Where was the Yard here? Oh, Yard 1 and 2. Yard Sand in this economy? Okay, maybe it's a little bit silly. You actually call it Yard? Yep. Is it unhinged? My bad. Why is Raikou 11? Was it 11 last season? No, it was 12 last season, so it's a drop from last season. I mean, a lot of Pokemon in Sun and Moon got dropped by a point or two if they weren't picked. Not every single one, but a lot of them did get dropped.
I think we dropped like Mega Heracross like a couple points. Like that guy's at 7 now.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything major here? Mega Altaria at 8 is like pretty nice price for it.
Yeah.
Alakazam has dropped to 9. What else here? Mega
really
T-Tar
like
to 10.
It's really just a lot of like the megas that aren't seen often, like taking a pretty big hit in their price. I feel.
Mega Venusaur at 9. Yeah, people do not draft this thing even in ORAS these days. I know.
Yeah.
DVG tried it last season at 10 points in ORAS, which in theory should be a really strong gen for it, and then they dropped it at mids because it just wasn't good. So even and then Sun Moon, it's like a worse gen for Venusaur. Drop it to 9, man. What else here? If you look at the bottom of the draft board, there's stuff like 6-point Xurkitree, 5-point Zygarde 10%. Like, there's some nice offensive mons down here. Mega Sceptile got a raise to 7 points. It's been like a little bit too consistently drafted for like a 6-point Mega. So moving it to 7 felt reasonable. Lejon tax, so true. Anything else here? 5-point Aloe. I mean, this one doesn't have flip turn, and Baton Pass is just straight up banned. So
I think we do 2 Zmons like in DPL, like, and they can be any 2.
2 Zmons, just flat 2. I mean, if we look at the draft records of recent Sun and Moon teams, you had this team from Trick of Eye, which was like a Sableye Talon kind of like pseudo thing, but instead of Talon, it's a Victini. So you've seen Sableye Talonflame in ORAS before in previous seasons, but now they're bringing the same idea to Sun and Moon, and turned out to be a really strong combination, right? Celestial Latios, good Z pairing, and then like these Pokemon are just generally decent, and then they got a lot of value out of Cloyster, which was cool to see. And then this, I think, is the greatest Sun and Moon draft ever made. this Zera Zygarde Necrozma Skarm thing. This was my favorite thing ever. On my team last season, Aster used it. This was awesome. Like cool stuff like Ditto. Like there's some cool stuff in Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
And then yeah, round two Serp. This one didn't do so hot, but you know, these are basically the same draft too. Rotom,
I think
Metagross,
Max
Landity.
highlighted that team a lot for us, and then the
Yeah.
other team was on Doom, and Doom like did really bad.
Yeah, Mega Gyarados was super sick this season. Actually, let me see if I can find the replay. Where was it? Aster. It was Aster versus a Serp. Was it week 1? Oh yeah, this is the one. I want to watch this one real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, come on. There we go.
You should get Aster to sign up again.
I think
It'd be cool to
Aster
get
is
him in the pool.
definitely not in a Mons mood at the moment. But
Unfortunate.
peep this replay. This is Mega Gyarados. So I'm just gonna let this one play. But this was a crazy game. So Z Cofagrigus, which is cool, of course. But Calm Mind Azerora sets up on that a little bit. Catches the Lando with HPIs. God Aster. Helmet Skarm, Hazard up.
And like that's the only dark resist too for like Mega Gara. Like Average team does not switch into its stats very well.
Zkava doing nothing. This is so sad. But now peep this, right? This was crazy. So Gyarados comes in. Serp comes in on this. We knew this would be physically defensive Rocky Helmet Serp or something similar. But stay regular form and go for the bounce. And now we Mega to get the Mold Breaker EQ. Or no, just Crunch is strong enough. But now after that Rocks chip... Oh, watch this though. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. Oh my god. He's so good. I'm literally bouncing on it for Aster. Like, this was an awesome game. And also, Mold Breaker gets the drop, not the raise. Shout out. This mon is sick. That being said, this was probably like the one replay the whole season where Gyarados really got its massive nut off. Most of the time it was Zygarde or Zeraora or even like a Salazzle doing the heavy lifting for this team.
It was just like the perfect matchup for it.
Yeah. That was a really creative bring.
Oh
Anyways,
yeah.
There's tons of cool stuff in Sun and Moon. So maybe less drastic changes to this draft board than Swish, because most people are pretty happy with the Sun and Moon board as is, just some adjustments for usage-based stuff. Right now, ORAS. Now, ORAS is a fun one. I've been really enjoying ORAS recently in the past, like, 2 years. I think ORAS has really come back to me as, like, one of my favorite formats. And I'll talk a little bit about my ORAS Cup draft at some point during this, but there's been, like, a really consistent top 4 Pokemon that has been, like, solidified. It's Guard, Lando, Chomp, Lando-I. So both Landos, Chomp, and Guard. So 3 really strong ground types, and then of course Mega Guard, the greatest breaker of all time. So, and there's like Clef, Mew, that sort of thing. But these are the Pokemon that define ORAS. So where do I think the meta's going? Folks, in ORAS Cup, I drafted Skarm plus Bronzong plus Sylveon. And that combination of 3 puts all of these guys in a dumpster. Like, I've been really enjoying Double Steel plus Sylveon. most often it's just going to be Fizz Def with heal bell and stuff like that. But double steal, both of them levitating, I'm just going to say it was a totally awesome build. I haven't played my top 32 game yet.
I was just about to ask you
but
that.
we are in top 32 at the
near.
moment. Yeah, we play Ryan and Ditto.
You should play
Where's
those,
Gar on the-
like
oh.
on stream.
My bad. There we go.
You should play Ryan on stream. That would be fun.
No. Anyways, not really too many changes to ORAS this year. Considering I'm pretty happy with the format as is. Faced Sylveon in BVR and was like, "No, I got a Hyper Beam." I mean, I drafted Sylveon for this like a month or two ago, like however long the tournament's been running. So, yeah. Anyways, some changes here. Gallade has been bumped up to 17 points. Medicham has dropped to 15. So like the fighting megas kind of making a little bit of a rotation here. Just because Gallade has been a lot more popular recently and Medicham has kind of like not been as popular. I think they're both still really good. So we'll see if this affects how people draft. What else here? I think the 19-18 point tiers are pretty similar to last season. Let me see. Yeah, they're identical. This is last season right now.
Mega Chump went up.
Mega Chomp?
Yeah, Darkrai
yeah.
said it went up a point.
Mega Chomp. No, it's the same. 14 and 14.
Oh, okay.
It was 13 like 2 seasons ago. But yeah. One thing we did is drop Drill to 15 because Sandcore has not been too popular recently. So give that a point buff. I mean, the rest of it is pretty much same old, same old. Anything in particular in the mid stuff? I think Registeel got a boost because it's been winning like for many seasons in a row now. So what does Diancie get in Sun and Moon that makes it so much better than ORAS Diancie? It's the turn 1 mega mechanic. So in ORAS, you have the regular Diancie speed for the first turn. So Mega Diancie in ORAS is almost always going to have to run Protect just to get that Mega Speed mechanic. And then you're running with like a 3 move slot Diancie at that point, which obviously is a little bit less valuable than a 4 move slot Diancie. So that's the discrepancy there. But yeah, usually you can get around that. Not too big of an issue. But yeah. What else here? I think we moved Zygarde up, right? It was 7 points, and then it was 8 in Smogon stuff, and now it's 9 here. Zygarde
like kind of popped off with it like recently.
Yeah, so back in the day, Zygarde was like kind of mid tier, and then Sun and Moon comes out, right? And all of a sudden Zygarde is really, really good there because of Thousand Arrows and Z moves. You're like, well, in ORAS it doesn't have any of those things, so it must be bad. So no one picks it in ORAS. It drops down a few points, no one picks it. It drops down a few points, no one picks it. It drops, no one picks it. It drops, no one picks it. Until it's like 7 points. And then at that point, Low QP starts picking it. And he picked it on this Mega Guard style that was really fantastic. Let me go back to this page. So, right here. This style. This specific team. He drafted pretty much the exact 8 Pokemon in DPL and DCL, and in both tournaments he went really good record. 3-1 here. I forget exactly how good it was in DCL, but it was at 4-2 or something like that. So fantastic results. And Zygarde, importantly, passed the eye test. It's a really strong win condition for a lot of matchups. And it just has the stats, right? Earthquake is still a good move. You don't need Thousand Arrows to do the job if you're only 7 points and your teammates are a little bit better because of that. So it fits really nice on this style. I've been using it in ORAS Cup. It's already swept several opponents for me, so a little bit of respect being added back into the Zygarde pricing. So Zygarde up to 9. We might even see it go back up to 10, but it kind of went on this this kind of trend, and I'm excited to see it this season, if it'll get drafted at 9, if it'll actually pop off in the actual games, but I have high hopes for it. Drop Shaman. Where's Shaman right now? My
Is
blind.
it like 11? 11.
It's 11? Yeah, that might be a little bit high for it.
Is it too late to do changes, or?
It's not too late, right? We can do changes until the auction starts. Which is going to be in 18 hours about.
I think I'd probably rather draft Tangrowth than Shaman, so I think like moving it down to at least 10 is fine.
Alright. Well, we can do that right now.
You
Shaman 10. And then I just need to do it like this. Boom. We're so back. So as you can see, we dropped Shaman by 1 point because Darkrai asked really nicely. You sign up to draft Shaman now? I better see your sign up in 3, 2... Oh, you literally just lied to me. That's crazy.
Dude, this is so sad. I get so excited to see that message and it was a lie.
Yes. Okay. Anything else for ORAS specifically?
Move it back, I'm bored.
Yep. Professor Shuckle, good news. There's a link in the description right now for you to join the server where you can sign up to play. How awesome is that? And this offer also extends to anyone else in chat that wants to join. Signups are open until tonight. Like
I'm really liking
5
the
more
player
hours?
pool we have right now.
Yeah, it's pretty
Would love to have
reasonable.
more. Yeah.
Let's see, what else here? I think that's all like the major changes to the draft boards. Is there anything else crazy? I don't think so. I know LowQP had a list. Let me see if I can find the list, see if I'm forgetting anything. Okay, here it is. See, we dropped Deoxys Defense, Mienshao, Raikou, Volcarona, Breloom, Gourgeist, Omastar, Tyrantrum, Politoed, regular Medicham, Toxicroak, and then some raises were Crustle, Lilligant, and what else? That's just from the list he gave me earlier, and then we also had a VC where we changed stuff around as well. Logos PR if real. I mean, we just got finished with all this. We can do that.
I think Slime Season's the best logo. Like it, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Let me just go like this so you can see all of them. That's good enough. So Slime Season, I think, is obviously up there.
Yeah, that's my thing. I don't understand Azzo and Zadler's, or Addy's and Zadler's team like at all. I don't get it.
So
Like,
I know what it's supposed to be. So Mock Kelp is supposed to just be Mock Help. That's the whole joke.
okay.
Apparently. Like, I understand that. Cool. What's the point? I don't know.
I
You
think
know?
we should change
just
our
silly.
color. Like, that green just does not fit our logo.
Oh, you just have it based on your Discord role. You could change it if you want.
Yeah, it's just like trying to come up with a color nobody else has. But like I like the green, but it just doesn't fit with the logo, you know?
I mean,
Did Nathan
it's
pick
probably
it?
fine.
'Cause, like I told him to pick the color.
He probably did. But
Yeah.
anyways, logo PRs. Drafting Under the Influence. This was another of the new logos this season. Pretty cool. Rev Room with like a beer and a joint.
When you're looking at like it from like the point of view on your screen, it's kind of hard to see like what it is, but like when you like look at it closer, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So, Scribble is a captain for Balio World Tour. Darkrai.
Yeah, and they're only doing one captain playing.
Yeah. Okay, but okay. Logos. I mean, I like the ZFG one. It's not new this season. It's from a few seasons ago, but it's still good. Dino Crisis was cool. The Mock Kelp one, it's just funny, you know? I don't know if it's like... It's not exactly like the same like kind of logo.
What's my favorite milkshake? Vanilla. I get sorry, basic answer.
Oh, you know what kind of milkshake I like? The cake batter ones. You ever had a cake batter milkshake?
No, I haven't.
So good.
Where do you get it from?
Oh, I don't remember. Somewhere.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Like you do that with like the rainbow sprinkles on top of the whipped cream. It's like delicioso. I mean, vanilla's fine too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Oreo, fantastic milkshake. Yeah, exactly, J-Bear. Cake batter birthday cake is the best. Ball knowers. Ball knowers rejoice.
I mean, like, I feel like it's hard to have a bad milkshake, though, you know?
Yeah, they're all pretty good, right? Okay, so one thing we could do here is take a look at the finals of last season, because the finals was actually kind of a banger.
Yeah, hold up. I'm just working on trying to, like, change it to a different screen.
Yeah. So, finals of last season was Band Chasers versus Doublade versus Goliath. So this was the number
We
one
have to
seed.
relive that.
The number one seed versus what a lot of people thought would be last place. So very funny stuff. But the thing is, yeah, we are doing it in game order. This is game one. So let's not look at the finals of last season. Oh, but come on, it's for the content. And then let's get back
What exactly
to...
are we doing here?
There we go. I just wanted to take a look at the last season finals. We're streaming right
okay. I'm down.
now.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna not be in VC though.
Okay. Shout out. For history's sake, yep, let's watch J-Scurf week 7. Is that your only win? Best and Toxic was like, not only was it the worst team last season, but even worse than Crit City. Yeah, they thought it was the worst team of all time. Why did Mickey Mouse join VC?
That's so mean.
Right? Alright, so this is game 1 of the finals. We got Lux for DVG versus Band Chasers 100p. So this is what, Gen 9? They had Craig in Gen 9? I guess they had Glop and Swish and they didn't want to double up for whatever reason. Sure. You see a Fortress, so I must root against it. Let's see, Terra typings here. We have Terra Fairy Heatran, Terra Fairy Gallade. So Heatran Gallade Terra typings versus Mew and Iron Moth. So none of these really standing the test of time. This is a year ago, and Iron Moth is still a pretty common Terra user, and I think Mew is underutilized, but Heatran Gallade was a different time back then, a whole year ago.
I think this game was pretty cursed, if I remember.
Yeah, let me share screen real quick so you can follow along.
Oh, I have your stream open, but yeah, I can look at
Yeah,
this.
but there's a stream delay, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Terramew is fire. I don't know what you're on about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is underutilized. Like, people should draft it more than they do currently. Mrs. Hydro Pump turn 1. Swag.
Huge.
So,
Okay,
Sableye
we
comes
work
in.
specs.
Yeah, forces it out. Defogs away the light screen. Very epic. Knocks the helmet. I mean, you're never going to end up with a screen up. You can run a hazard set. You can. Meteor Beam does half to Heatran, and a T-Spike goes up, so no Absorber, but now a Sub's up. Running an Earth Power. Lando predicting the Earth Power. It's Power Gemmed instead. I mean, still 24%. There's a powerful gem, folks. Why do I read that with a Jimothy Cool voice in my head? Yeah, so Light Screen will prevent the Sableye from going down to the next Hydro Pump. At least you're threatening that.
Yeah.
This is interesting now. If the Iron Moth comes in on the Weezing every single time, the T-Spike is never going away, because the Moth will force out the Weezing, and that's the Defogger. So these T-Spikes are up to stay, unless this happens here. So now Weezing has to double out on the Iron Moth. Doesn't do so though, so T-Spike's going right back up. Just confused, doesn't want to risk it, I guess. So Garchomp gets both setups here. Is it Red Card Fortress? Life Orb 5-hit Garchomp. Beast, no red card. So Garchomp able to pretty much pick up a KO here. Gets the Intim into the 4 sack. Pretty reasonable. So shout out to Fortress. I mean, Garchomp decides to get up rocks instead of taking a KO.
Yeah.
Because everything else also KOs it, no problem. I think maybe you would prefer to just scale shot though. Then you're +2 speed, +1 attack. You can get off a big hit, but maybe you just really value the rocks for whatever reason. I don't know.
I think
Feels like a weird decision.
it's good for Chip, and the Moth wasn't boots, and I don't think we had recovery on the Moth, so we probably just wanted to wear it down quicker so it can't keep switching into Weezing.
I think overall it's a similar position, right?
Yeah, I don't think I can understand the logic of rock versus scale
Yeah.
shot though.
Misses another Hydro Pump, so that's 2 missed Hydro Pump, 3 missed Hydro Pumps.
3 missed hydros. Yeah, this game was really weird.
Yeah, this was awesome. I remember this. We're on the
This was
streets as that was a
dreadful.
big miss. Shout out to Itzia. That's super funny.
This was stressful to watch.
And we
live.
defogged our own rocks. Ah.
Mhm. Well, the Moth is dead, so I get it.
Yeah. This is why I will never draft a Rotom. I mean, Rotom's a good mon. Just hit your Hydros.
Mm-hmm.
Goes Meow on the exact Lando turn. Right, threatens triple axle. U-turns on the Sableye. Is
U-turn.
this helmet? No?
No, I think we might have been like clay.
Maybe, yeah. Doubles land on the Wheezing, but this is Levitate Wheezing. Here's a Psychic, gets Rotom in before Rocks for another Hydro Pump. Yeah, it is Light Clay, okay. 35 to Darkrai, alright. How does this affect Rotom Ghost Legacy? It doesn't. It just doesn't do that. And the Hypnosis connects.
Big.
Got some bad dreams. Wakes up immediately though, so
Yeah.
nothing really comes of it. Now Terra Gallade, just gonna go down. There's a reason people don't use Terra Gallade anymore. Facade for 14, what a beast. Yeah, I think these rocks are just gonna stay up. Ooh, Pain Split. Maybe you can keep the rocks off? We'll see. Because all these defogs are giving leftovers. Like, Citrus Berry could never here. Shout out to J. Ricky. There's a confusion, so maybe you can keep the rocks off now? Because 100p doesn't seem to want to risk any confusions ever. So it gets Darkrai in, gets rid of the Wheezing. So next time rocks go up is, they're going to be up forever. And this Mew is still at full HP, yeah. I mean, this Mew probably won the game a while ago, if I'm being completely honest. With Terra Fairy, right? Gets it in with a light screen up. Threatens Encore? Why do we switch? Really scared of Encore like that, or what? I don't know. Not confident in the +2 Vacuum Wave roll, I guess? I don't know. Feels like...
Were we not Terra Fairy Mew? I don't...
You were,
I'm
yeah.
kind of confused there, why he switched out there.
I don't know. Maybe fearing Trick. That's the only way it could go, like, even a little bit bad. I mean, it's one no matter what.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal. I think 100 definitely got like a bit lucky with you know, all those myths moved by Rotom.
Oh yeah, would have been a completely
But-
different game.
Yeah.
I always forget Meow gets Trick. Yeah, it kind of gets everything, doesn't it? Some would even say it's bannable.
Yeah.
Who would say
Well,
that?
Like, I think like geniuses that are like ahead of their time say that, you know, in like a month and a half when it's finally banned, they'll be vindicated for what they've always said. You know?
Some say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who might be the one saying that? Who's to say?
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyways, we have a Sun and Moon game. So this is yeah, the USUM Superior, the Victini. These are two Pokemon that had good performances. That's my goat.
This is Max versus Odin, right? Yeah.
Should be, right? Yeah, this is Max Odin. Odin goat. Odin had a really fantastic year.
Max did too, right?
Yeah, they both had really
Yeah.
good seasons. Knocks off the Chesto Berry, so rest Rotom here. Makes sense, right? You're likely taking some big hits from Victini, Garchomp, stuff like that, so being able to rest that off, pretty valuable.
And that's AB Fundy, right? From the damage. Yeah,
22?
has to be.
Yeah, I think that might be AV. Hard to say though.
He got so much value out of that Fundy.
Yeah, really good start. Now Victini comes in to click V-Create. Muck is able to come in. Does it have Super Berry? Oh, it has Custap.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. That would be huge.
Yeah, really big Custap Berry there. With Gluttony to activate, you know, under 50%. Then Ice Punch to prevent Garchomp from really setting up on it, but instead Rocks go up and takes the KO. Pretty reasonable.
Mhm.
Now, Metagross comes in. We see a Sword Stance on a Rock Polish. So,
I think we might have
weakness
been
policy?
weakness policy.
Yeah. So willing to take an Earthquake, but SDs instead. And now Meteor Mash gets a raise, but Cotton Guard Bouffalant should be able to wall this thing out. And it's actually Double Dance Bouffalant. Do we see a Rest here? Rest seems pretty telegraphed. Another Sword Stance. Interesting, because Mash would have 2-hit KO'd there. Maybe it's Ayapapa Berry, because this is Sun and Moon. It looks like, yeah, Ayapapa makes the most sense for how he's played it. Overheats with the Blacephalon. That looks to be specs into Spadef Blastoise, maybe? Hard to say. Oh, it's Megastoise. So maybe it's not specs then. Who knows?
Oh, we weren't. We must have been Shuka instead of weakness policy. Both make sense.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. Either
Yeah.
way. Oh my god.
Air balloon.
Z grounds into the balloon, and then now Gravity, but Foul Play's doing a decent amount. Earthquake not going to KO from full, and Foul Play is going to put it in range of rocks, and Spikes goes up. Alright, we'll get a KO with Earthquake, but Blastoise will be able to eat the next. Never mind. Aqua Jet comes out,
Jet.
doesn't even need to eat the next one. Rotom's going to come in, but
Yeah.
it gets hit by Spikes because of Gravity. Does he cost us the game? It probably did, yeah.
I think I feel like the Fundy getting all that value, like those turns it would win would probably the biggest thing.
Well, it's like this Z here.
I think
It's on a switch to a balloon Klefki that was unrevealed. Like
yeah.
from this
I think
perspective,
Max had to do it.
like Z is a perfectly reasonable play. Like you need the Z
Yeah.
to KO Blastoise. But that being said, if you did predict the balloon Klefki and you're literally God, and you click Gravity here, it's probably a win. Yeah. It's just such an unreasonable expectation to click Gravity on that turn.
Like if he was any other item on Klefki, he would have probably won,
Yeah.
or maybe not won, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Completely different.
It would have been a winning endgame, most likely. So now that's what, 1-1 for the series? Yeah, 1-1. Now who's game 3? It's this here. Lax versus Kyle. We got a Terrazarud back before it was cool. Then we have a Piloswine with a Terrapagos before it was cool. So some ball knowers. Like look at this draft today. Like Iron Valiant,
Yeah.
Raging Bolt, Terrazarud. You would never get this in 2025.
We had the worst rude matchup ever. It was
Yeah.
really good versus those.
He's just ahead of his time, you know, with this draft. Like it's just really good stuff. Let's look at the Terra typings here. We have Terra Steel on the Sinistra, Terra Stellar on the Enam. On the other side, we have Terra Ghost on the Zarude, and Terra Flying Tentacruel, it looks like, or maybe it was something else. He also has Fairy on his Lando, but I don't think the Lando was Terra here. Regardless, it's gonna be Zarude. We all know it. Oh, it's Steel Sinistra, right? Oh no, that's on the other side. Yeah. Okay. Iron Crown versus Iron Crown. We see a Volt Switch on a very bulky crown. Only does 20%. But now Terra Blast Ghost gonna do a lot of chip to this thing. We see a Tachyon Cutter, so HP trade off rip. But we see a Citrus Berry. Shout out J Ricky. And Drain Punch. So Zarude escapes relatively healthy. And threat averted. Now Enamor's gonna come in. Goes for an Earth Power. Overplaying a little bit. I really expected the Iron Crown to come in, it
Yeah.
seems, but regardless,
Or
it's
the
going to take a
Tentacruel.
KO. Now Crown comes in, but just going to stay in Earth Power again into Shuka Berry, and Enamorous goes down. So now what? Roaring Moon's going to come in for the follow-up. Even with no item, Nox should be fine. Goes for a Dragon Dance, though, on the Lantern switch, and is Clear Amulet to prevent the Intimidate. Knocks off the Rocky Helmet as we see a Hammer Arm, which actually does KO the Roaring Moon after the Rocky Helmet chip. So, cool tech there. Now Terra Starstorm, able to revenge kill that. We got a question, random question, but will ORAS stay in DPL when next gen comes out? Probably yes. Probably yes.
I feel like that's something we should like, discuss more though. Cause like that's a long way away.
It's gonna be at least what 2 more years before that happens. So maybe things will change by then, but I don't have a problem keeping ORAS. Alright, Tachyon's into the shell, breaks that, and Rapid Spin. So now the Terapagos is going to be faster and able to Calm Mind next turn. Alright, so Tachyon not going to KO even with the next one, so Flame is enough to take out the Iron Crown here. Now Raging Bolt comes in. I don't think Terapagos is quite in range. Never mind. A Draco Meteor with Scarf Raging Bolt is going to get across the line. And crits the Piloswine. But gets crit back, so whatever. Yeah, exactly, Darkrai. I think that's a pretty reasonable one. A-Drive, TTM Jolt, and Omega Jolteon will stream the auction. No, I don't think they're gonna do that. That's okay though. Okay, Valiant actually goes down here, and it's Sinistcha versus Tentacruel for the final for the game. But Acid Spray Tentacruel able to drop the Sinistcha's Spadef and picks up the KO. So shout out to Tentacruel. So now DVG is up 2-1. Now game 4 is going to be Aki versus Ace Trainer Josh, also known as Joshua. So Josh is a captain this season with a part in the eruption, and Aki is banned. So, oh well. Anyways, this team, I know you played it in the regular season versus me, this SERP arrow kind of thing. This is ORAS.
I like the team, like the double
cool.
steel. Yeah.
I mean,
and like I'm a really big arrow fan too.
It's not like really double steel because Lucario is much more a fighting type offensive guy than a steel type.
Right.
But yeah, it's a cool team. Like you have the top tier ground plus Rotom SERP, which is a common, like really common pairing that season across multiple gens actually. So yeah. And then on the other side, this is like the Lando Eye. This used to be a Mega Venusaur, but it got dropped at mids for Mega Abomasnow, pretty sure. A priority merchant, so true. Cal went ham after mids. Yeah, he had a great second half. Anyways, ORAS. Rotom leads off into Lando. You like this if you're Rotom, as long as you can connect your Hydro Pumps. So Hydro Pump missing has been a little bit of a theme recently, has it? Pumps into the Abomasnow. Wait, is this not Mega Abomasnow? Am I mixing this up? Hold up. No, it is Mega Abomasnow. You just stay regular to keep the speed stat, because when you Mega it gets slower, but you want it to be faster than the Rotom. That's actually very funny. But with ORAS mechanics, you would have still been faster if you Mega'd that turn. So, like, should have Mega'd either way. Anyways. Physically defensive Rocky Helmet Spiritomb takes 17 from MASH. That's kind of crazy. Wrong play, but shiest. So true. We're going to see a Wisp come out into the Superior. Start taking some pretty big chip, because this is ORAS. It's 12% burn. +2 on the Jirachi. And Glare. Okay, a little bit of progress made. And it's Helmet Serp. Okay, reasonable chip. Infernape comes in. Do we see like a Mach Punch, Vac Wave? But we do reveal Scarf on this turn. Alright, Lando Chomp. Rocks go up for an Earth Power, so probably just going to trade HP on these guys. Yeah, Aqua Tail brings it low in exchange for the Garchomp. And
I wonder if Rocks was the right play there, and that's just like going for the kill on Lando.
I mean, Rocks is guaranteed value at least, instead of like Aqua Tailing into Latios, which would suck.
Or an Aqua Tail mix too, so.
Yeah. I get it. It pumps into Jirachi for 30. Alright, so Jirachi very low. Not quite in Rock's range, but close to it. But now Signal Beam, the reveal. Now Latios is in Rock's range. Goes Lucario trying to save the sack. Is able to successfully do it on the Dragon Pulse. Folks, run Draco Meteor. It's a better move.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because we kept that sack, we don't have to pick one to the Infernape. Arrow comes in, gets the Mega off. Aqua Tail's in the Spiritomb, but it's still Rocky Helmet. Goes for a flinch, but yeah, Will-O-Wisp comes out. Ironhead gets the roll, though. Actually, that's not a roll, the Reflect wore off.
Mm-hmm.
Now Infernape comes in, just gonna sack Arrow. It's actually Scarf Mach Punch, which is gonna be a big deal for this Lucario. It does live the E-Speed. Yeah. Like, if that was a close combat, you'd be -1 defense and you'd be in E-Speed range. But because it's Mach Punch, you don't even fear anything. That was nice. So many helmets. Well, if you think about it, right, the old gens, if you're thinking like defensive items, it's leftovers and it's Rocky Helmet. I mean, there's some citrus berries, but not as much as in SV. In Sun and Moon, you have like Ayapapa stuff, but in ORAS, if you have a defensive mon, usually it's going to be leftovers or Rocky Helmet. There's just less options. You only on Dragon Pulse on Calm Mindsets. A guy like me runs Calm Mind Draco.
Yeah,
Every
I'm
time.
always running Draco.
Yep. Alright, so game 5. Castelia versus Sun. And this was when Sun was in his like super crazy arc of just building the most crazy sets of all time. So hopefully this will be an entertaining one to watch. But yeah, Castelia doesn't play in too many things, but played this DPL. Has been around for a long time under a different name, Super Griefer 101, but they had a really good season. I think went, 7-1? Or like 6-2? One of those. 7-2. A really good season. Kind of spamming this team with a regular Latios. And then Sun was having a not so great a season individually. So he was just kind of building some crazy stuff, hoping to catch his opponents off guard. But Terra types, we have Grass Ogrepon, we have Fairy Metagross. And then on the other side, Dark Enamorous. And that looks like it.
Yeah, I actually like both of these teams like a lot.
Yeah.
They look like I didn't get a chance to use the XP team because, like, you know, Kat had it and she was doing great with it like all season.
Mm-hmm.
But the other team's still fun. Like, I used Kren, Enam before, and Iron Hand and Cinder are two of my favorites.
Yeah. So SD in exchange for rocks, but then switches to Lottie on the Earthquake, catches that, gets a really big Mist Ball off, but is going to die to play rough. But with Helmet and Mist Ball, I mean... Oh, the Custap Berry, so it gets a 2-for-1 here with the Iron Hands. But now I think you can just, KO with Samurai. I was going to say Ceaseless Edge might be able to get you across the line, then you have a double hazard advantage, but maybe not confident in that roll. Good God. Helmet's a good item.
Yeah.
We see a Tail Glow Volbeat on the Temper Flare.
That did 0.
Yeah.
Man.
So Volbeat can kind of roost this off, not really. Decides to switch, fearing like crits eventually. I think switching was probably not correct though. You're already +3.
Yeah.
It's
Like, he
Apricot
cooked
Berry.
He kind of burnt with the Volpe cooking.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an overcook. Now we have a freeze on Belly Bolt. Okay. Step 1. But it thaws immediately. So who really got haxed? Think about it. Yo, Am I consistent or what? Because this is my account.
So true.
I literally just said this. Okay, Belly Bolton. It's faster than Dragalge, so can get the slack off. And goes for a soak to take away the adaptability from Dragalge. That's actually funny, but it actually gives adaptability onto the flip turn, which isn't going to matter, but just funny. Volt switches on the Dragalge. Now you can get a spin kill with Great Tusk here, potentially. Get rid of the T-spikes. Yep. Alright, now what? Scarf Enam? Takes Rock, so it could be Scarf. Is not Scarf, just dies to Heavy Slam. Shout out. Now can Scizor do it? Loki, I've seen Scizor win these before.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
Samurott comes in.
Might be a hot take, but like SP is my favorite gen for Scissors. Like,
I think
it
ORAS.
just has like a lot of. Yeah,
It's
I
really
said
hard
favorite,
to
not
beat.
what I think it's the best
Okay,
gen though.
yeah,
you
fair
know,
enough.
I think dual wing beat like is a really fun tool for it.
I'm too funny. Oh man. Yeah, Scizor's super fun in SV, I agree. The Muka made it so you only bring the good sets. Ball
It's
knower.
so true.
Yeah. Alright, game 6 I think was Zazo. Yeah, Zazo versus Genius. So really big matchup here in terms of name value. Your team there was so bad. Yeah. Yeah. Scissor is an absolute baller pick. So true. This team though, this one that Zazo's using, I played against this in the regular season with my Lopunny Roserade Manaphy team. And this was like the freest match of all time. Don't watch this game, not worth. No, we have to watch it now. But this draft was so bad because it's like the most unwinnable matchup of all time when I was playing it. Like I could have done anything and won that game. Like the Dragon resist is Cobalion, the Psychic resist is Victini, and I guess Starmie, but like I had a Latios versus this and it felt like a Mega Latios, you know, the way it was hitting. There's no like Starmie's the only removal for a Mega Pinsir team and Victini, so like Hazard Stack plus Spin Block is just so broken versus this. Like Rocks alone just like kills this entire team. I think this is like really poorly built if I'm being honest, but that's not the matchup that's in the finals. We're playing against this team, which has none of the things that I was saying. So can we watch you versus Zazo regular season after this so you look better to the 37 viewers? Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that, but we're definitely watching this. Okay, we have C, the Cobalion. Forces out the Torn, I guess. Pert comes in to trade Rocks. No, just Earthquakes into a Starmie. Takes an Ice Beam, does 13%, so AV Swampert. Not AV, so just Adamant Starmie. Like, 13? You gotta be kidding me. Literally Adamant Starmie. Okay, Arrow's gonna switch in on the Pinsir. Do we catch this with a CC? Catch it with a return.
That did so much though, jeez.
Goes for a Roost though, as we stay in Brick Break. Cooked. And now it's in Quick Attack range. Like, sure, Helmet will put it almost in Rock's range at this point. But, yeah, Torn comes into Revenge. No real flying resist to be had outside of Thunderous, which takes Rocks, so... Ooh, right, lefties protect Tornadus. So, it's sub, protect. Maybe, Toxic Last? Regardless, this is going to be really hard to remove. Just kidding, you're going to get roared. Anyways, Hydreigon's going to trade its HP for this Cobalion. And now Starmie's going to get a spin in exchange for a Tailwind going up. So now Dark Pulse going to KO through the Coldberry. No doubt about it. Now Pinsir comes in to go for a quick attack. Torn pivots in. Alright, threatens a Hurricane here. Gonna quick attack again on a Toxic, trying to catch the Thunderous. That being said, we are able to protect here, get some lefties, but a Swords Dance comes out. One step ahead is Iron Flash Gaming. Now Hydreigon has to be the sack here. Do this quick attack. And now something else also has to take a quick attack. No, actually, you can just go to Torn and Protect if you want. But Swampert comes in and is also Protect. Okay, so Toxic Protect the team. This is like an ADV draft kind of thing. Energy Ball is going to knock Swampert into Torrent, which doesn't matter because there's no water move on here. I'm going to go for a Toxic and then Protect. Sure, this allows you to set up a Torrent endgame potentially, maybe? I don't know. Keeping the sack.
Genius should have clicked Earthquake there instead of Toxic.
Well, what Toxic does allow you to do is to go and Torn on this turn. Like, it opens up this line where you can potentially get up a sub. Chooses not to do so, goes for Protect. I think if it's Scarf Victini, you'll get knocked under sub range. So, like, I get it. And then goes for Toxic on sub Thunderous. So, and then misses Hurricane. So nothing going right for Genius in this past few turns. A T-Bolt's going to come out. Now Whimsicott is going to come out. Breaks the sub with Life Orb. But now Hidden Power, maybe Steel, is going to KO it from there. Would it be Steel?
It could have been Ice. But
it could be Ice,
we were offensive. We were Life Orb.
But like, dying from 78 to a 2 times effective thing? Maybe it's Terra or not Terra, but HP Poison.
Maybe.
So sub T-Bolt Grass Knot? No, it's probably HP Ice.
Fly makes sense too.
Oh, Fly would make sense,
Bear, yeah. Jay Bear pointed out.
Especially with Nasty Plot, yeah, HP Fly makes way more sense now. Yeah. KO's the Klefki, and Swamper's gonna go down to HP Flying. Yeah, I assumed it would be Grass Knot last, which opens up the Hidden Power typing quite a bit here. But since it's sub Nasty, it has to be Flying.
Yeah.
Alright, and then you were saying we have to do the regular season game? Just to, where is it?
Thank you, Eatles. He confirmed it was flying, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, Zajo, I feel like got, like, you know, like, almost every play right that game, like, you know,
yeah, he definitely outplayed in the late game. Like, every turn went his way. Pretty easy to win when you get every single prediction right. Okay. And we have another one of these top tier ground plus Rotom Serp. This time with a Mega Glalie, the Alolan Muck, the Metagross. This is a regular season game, but Genius requested that we cover this one if we're going to do the finals one where you got smoked. I get it. So this is like double offensive water kind of thing. Gen 7, yeah. Alright. Let's just watch it. DNC Serp. Good lead for the Serp. Goes for a sub. So rocks go up, but now behind a sub you can't just go for a Leaf Storm. But no, we're going to go for a Toxic instead. Into no Grass Resist. No, I guess it's Bouffalant, right? Is the Grass Resist.
Yeah.
Then goes hard Gren. Probably just gonna see a U-turn to Bouffalant. Yeah, Toxic again. Owned. I saw that, you Hoodles. I appreciate that. The rocks go up. And now Rotom's gonna come in on Gren. Pretty reasonable. That's Specs Dark Pulse, but this is also Scarf Rotom. Because if it's coming in on Gren, it's either Scarf or Max Spadef, right? It looks to be neither. So, Bluff's the Scarf. I mean, I would have switched too. I would have switched too. Yeah, why are we just randomly max speed Rotom? I mean, Zazo is famous for running like no speed on his offensive guys, so calling that out is a pretty smart play. And then Supersonic Sky Strike just blows it back. And now there's no Grass Resist anymore, so Surf can do its thing. Surf can pick up a KO, but it's Specs, it's locked into Surf. So now this could be a sub here. Just goes for a Lee Storm, also perfectly fair.
Mm-hmm. Would that make it Diancie? Yeah.
It is, yeah. And has +4. Seems to be faster than everything besides Gren. So Specs Ice Beam will revenge this, but goes for a U-turn predicting a switch out. Genius calls that, stays in, and goes for another Leaf Storm, knocks out the Manaphy. All right.
We might have not been in range of Ice Beam. Like,
At 75,
Wait.
definitely in range, I'm pretty sure.
or he might have just
Dark
not
Pulse
had
killed
it.
at 52. Maybe it didn't have Ice Beam. That's a better reason why you turn there. What else would you be, though? Maybe like HP Grass? I could see it. DD's crafty, but the Clear Smog able to prevent anything from going through like that. Yeah, just spam Clear Smog. Nothing can really go wrong from this position. Right? Can Gren reverse sweep this?
Mhm.
Because Dark Pulse looks pretty scary. Goes to Gren on the return and just says, never mind. I don't wanna. I think if you sack Scrafty and then go Gren, all you need is like one flinch on the Glalie and then Dark Pulse kind of sweeps. Maybe it's Colbur Metagross to enable that to not just be one flinch and you're out. I guess Rotom lives
Yeah.
from this range as well. So
He would have had to get like gotten 2 flinches to win, I think.
yeah, at least 2 flinches. Yeah, shout out to Genius. Congratulations. Now back to the finals. Game 7. Who's game 7? Glop versus PZZ. So some good names here. And some good custom avatars as well. Look at that. Yveltal. That looks pretty drip. And then we have the Coco, D-Knight, Victini, the famous trio. Infamous, some might say. It was the same matchup from Odin versus Max, yeah. Okay, so this is like a really common build as well. This Lando, Melmetal, Weavile kind of thing. Oh, yeah, the coaching is a little bit on pause at the moment. Because I got a lot going on right now.
Yeah. We got the Wi-Fi League and DPL.
Yeah,
Kind of a lot right
and
now.
the ORAS Cup and Seasonal and ADV.
Yeah. It's losing ORAS Cup and Seasonal. That cuts out on it.
Yeah, just lose. Yeah. PG built PZZ's team to turbo counter Glop and called literally everything that Glop was going to bring in all his plays beforehand, and then, yeah. Okay, so basically, from this info, PZZ has a perfect counter team. Let's see if that's the case. So Keldeo leads off into Victini, just gonna Scald immediately. Looks to be, okay, very fat weakness policy Victini. Immediately picks up a KO with Bolt Strike. PZZ says thanks in the chat. Interesting double. Hold on, let's go back. So Weavile forces out the Victini, doubles Melmetal on the Caracosta.
And
Just
then we
allows
win.
rocks to go up, but Nasty Plot Uxie on the Toxic, okay. But does have access to like Giga Drain. So pivots Victini, which is smart, but another Nasty Plot comes out. Now what? It's faster than Victini, right? Because this is like super
It was
fat
really
Victini.
fat, yeah.
Aegis Slash comes in, Shadow Ball just kills.
Kills.
Oh my god.
Jeez. Yeah, I ran like a similar like Uxie when we played the team in the regular season. Like
Yeah.
an Uxie almost won. But
Mhm.
like we lost or didn't win because of Scarf Dragonite. So
Yeah. I mean, you probably should have gone to Pilot's Wine first, right? If you can protect Live Psychic, protect Shard. Maybe you didn't have to sack 2 Pokemon to that. Regardless.
yeah.
Coco's gonna come in here. It's Balloon. People need to stop using Balloon Coco. I swear it's not good. Because you lose your electric boost if you're not touching the ground.
I didn't know that actually.
Mhm.
But I still don't I think like Shook is usually better anyway.
Yeah. if I want to catch like a Lando or a Garchomp, I'll just run Shuka.
Yeah.
Don't bother with Balloon. Shout out J Ricky. Alright. Caracosta gonna come in. Is it Rocky Helmet? It is Rocky Helmet. Nice. And gets big Earthquake Chip. And yeah, this is just gonna trade out with the Melmetal, so can't ask for much more out of your Caracosta. But is it too little too late?
Oopsie. Yeah.
Okay, goes Dragalge on the Coco, so calls that correctly, able to be rewarded by a Sludge Bomb KO. But now the rocks are gone, D-Knight can come in. Wait,
We were Scarf.
Scarf Dragalge
Yeah.
is crazy. And E-Speed not going to be enough to pick off the Weavile. Ice Shard is going to finish it off.
So I feel
Crazy
like
game.
the mistake was obviously like letting Uxie kill like
Half the team.
Victini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good start with the Victini, but then Uxie really brought it back. Yeah, definitely there were other options in that situation. Now this
Yeah.
brings us to a game 8, right? Who was game 8?
Kyle. No,
Oh,
it's not
Sage
the Kyle game. It's
Zooch.
Sage. Yeah.
So, DVG's up 4-3 at this point, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
4-3. So if Zooch wins this, they win the finals. And Sage has to win just to bring it to tiebreak. So big stakes, folks. Big stakes.
Sage can do it. She's got this.
So true. A Lantern comic back in my
Who
head.
is that? Oh, hello.
Sorry.
All
But I'm
good.
finally unburdened, so...
Alright.
Anyway. Immediately on the matchup, I see one flying resist, and that is Tinkaton.
Yeah? I mean, it's a pretty good flying resist, to be fair.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but Torn also has Heat Wave for it.
it does, yeah.
It
But at least
still
it
doesn't
dissuades,
do,
like,
a
Specs,
ton.
Specs Hurricane, Specs Terrablast Flying,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. So pretty nice.
Yeah.
What else here? Like, the Chi-Yu kind of forces AV, Samurott, stuff like that.
Right.
We get to play the Dawn Fan
Honestly,
game. How many
I don't
turns?
like. I don't like the Zooch draft. I don't know. It just kind of looks ugly to me. It looks
Mhm.
kind of whack.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But anyways, let's take a look at this. Terra typings. Dark
I'm
Chi-Yu.
sorry, is that a Terra Sneasler?
Yes, it is. It's a Ghost Sneasler.
Mhm.
Flying Torn. And Rock Whimsicott.
Whimsicott.
Imprisons the rocks? Okay,
And Knockoff.
can I get a legality check? Does that count as a Donphan turn?
I would say yes.
But it
Like,
didn't get a move off.
yeah, but it still
I'd
had a
argue that
turn.
was just a dead turn.
It had a turn, you know.
Hmm.
I'd still argue that was mostly a dead turn.
There's no dead turns in Pokemon.
But if they both miss moves.
We have
Then
not a
it's
turn in the
turn.
chat. You guys think it's a turn? I think it might not
I
be a
think-
turn.
I count it as a turn.
Okay, well, we'll count it as half a turn. How about that? Knocks off the Samurott. Now Ceaseless is going to happen. Spike up. That's Rocky Helmet, of course. So Samurott gets really chipped by that. Less than a turn.
Last week's about to Shell Smash on him.
No, it just goes for a
It's
flip
not.
turn. Another
Jock's
Rocky
gonna
Helmet,
go for
by the way.
Spin. Really
Alright, so
shocked it didn't spin.
We basically sacked 2 Pokemon.
He predicted the Rotom, that's why he didn't spin.
Yeah, probably.
Like, Sage usually could have gone
Mhm.
Rotom there, but, like, she
Yep.
called the flip turn.
The threat of the spin block was enough.
Oh!
Endure Curum. Takes the overheat. Threatens Custap Berry, so Zooch switches out, scouting that, but the Custap is saved for later. That might be important.
I
That
think-
might also be a little
yeah.
risky if there's rocks on the Uxie or the Tinkaton.
I think Uxie should have clicked rocks there. Like, I think
Probably,
that was, like,
yeah.
knocking with a mistake.
Well, it might be Rock's Tinkaton as well.
It could be, yeah.
Because it's... Actually, no, it was Imprison Uxie, so Imprison, Knock, U-Turn, Rocks. Has to be. Anyways, this is like a triple hazard advantage for Sage and the Mon advantage.
Donphan got like 5 turns. That's my goat.
Donphan got 3.5 turns.
4 turns.
3.5.
Thorn just comes out and it does a ton.
Right.
I don't think it sweeps from here, but it. Never mind. It's gonna switch out to Rotom.
Alright. Reflect Rotom with a Pain Split. Double full paras. This is so sad. Gigaton and Play Rough are the only moves. We're trying to waste screen turns here, I think.
Yeah.
Because you really don't want the Torn coming in with screens up. But now the Reflect goes right back up. We mistimed it.
Oh, that sucks.
It does, yeah.
I don't think it's that
But-
big of a deal because it waits the screen turn, you know?
Here's my question: why is he swords dancing repeatedly?
To waste
To
screen
wait
turns.
screens. Yeah.
Ah,
But now light screen's up, Reflect's gone. Sneasler comes in. It's Terra Ghost. But it's just gonna die to
I
Bleak
don't
Wind.
think that's gonna help it. Yeah, Sneasler is not bulky.
And we have the I think like Zooch really needed to get rocked up, but like I don't know.
A
I
critical
don't
hit.
think the crit matters. I think Custap
Was
Cure
light-
just comes out and clicks
well-
Earth Power.
Yeah. Saving the Cuss Step here turned out to be pretty nice. And so we go to tiebreak. Very epic.
Unless you're on one team.
Yeah. I mean, you can see on the dock, but look at the game. So we have Kyle versus 100p with a Bastiodon sighting. Shout out to Bastiodon. That's my goat.
I love Bastiodon.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question on my mind is Metal Burst?
Probably.
I'm sorry.
That's usually what it runs, yeah.
Moth kind of has free reign after you get rid of. Never mind, it does not. I am not looking carefully enough.
Zazo Speech won finals. Who's to say? Who's to say? Shout out to
Actually-
Legends. Anyways, yeah. Back again with this Bolt Valiant Zarude combination.
Who did they pick for tiebreaks again? Like each game? I don't remember. I know.
It was
Okay.
Zazo,
Zooch.
Kyle, Zooch.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Kyle was like on a roll recently. Zooch
Mhm.
and Zazo were by far their best two performing
And
players.
we picked our captains and Sage? Or did
yeah.
we go with Lack?
I mean,
Yeah, that makes sense.
as a tiebreak, this looks good. You know, no complaints.
Yeah.
Kyle's also better in SV. Yeah, maybe they could have picked Swish. Or no, what am I saying? Or picked Sun and Moon and put Odin in, because Odin was 6-1 at the time, I think. Something like
Mhm.
that. But
Yeah,
anyways,
I feel like both teams had like a lot of options for tiebreak because we also
Yeah.
had Lax and Cats,
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Terra typings here. We have Terra Water Bastiodon and Terra Dark Zarude. On the other side, we have Fairy and Fire. Alright, Raging Bolt leads off into Lando T. Stays in on the rocks for a Draco Meteor. Does 76%. Big chip. Fori's going to come in on a Dragon Pulse. Only does 12. But Thunderbolt is going to start chipping this.
Fortress has shit spit def, but it's taking a -2 Dragon Pulse easy.
Yeah, okay, weakness policy, that makes sense why you stayed in on the Lando earlier. So, gonna Draco this time, predicting the Lando switch, catches it correctly. Now, Darkrai's gonna come in, and 2-hit KOs this Raging Bolt, but T-Wave, that's gonna be a big deal.
Oh, that's huge.
That's actually massive.
We kind of got bopped that game, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a crazy T-Wave, because now Valiant can come in and be faster. Moonblast obviously gonna knock it out. Yeah, Life Orb Valiant now outspeeds every single Pokemon, so Mew is forced to take the hit. Does it have Draining Kiss? It does, so able to knock out the Valiant and get some HP back.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought there was a chance Valiant survived after Mew was at -1.
No. Valiant does not have the Spit F on him like that. But, okay, Sableye, Acid Spray Dazzling Gleam though, so this is probably going to be able to get off a spin. You'd assume so. So yeah, 100p not able to, keep his advantage. Yeah, this Rapid Spin comes out.
The Mew, though, right now.
Well, you always have Bastiodon as the emergency button. Right?
That's true.
Here it is. My goat. Draining Kiss to break the Sturdy, but Roar is going to get it out of there. Roar into stuff like a Booster Energy Moth also makes sense in the prep side of things. And then Earthquake as well. Pretty nice stuff from the Bastiodon. Gonna chip this Iron Moth in range of pretty much everything. But the Fiery Dance boosts are stacking up. Pretty lucky there. Now, +3. Can Zarude take the hit if it Terra Darks? Well, we're never gonna know because...
It was Scarf, yeah.
Oh, is Scarf Zarude?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was. Like,
Yeah, so misses Power Whip. Misses another Power Whip. Can the Mew bring it back?
Damn.
Lando's gonna come in here. Nasty Plot's up. It is faster than the Lando, but Swords Dance is gonna be a close one. Psychic does not quite KO, and Earthquake does knock it out. And obviously Fortress gonna go down to this Earthquake.
Was super suspenseful.
It's super suspenseful for sure. So this puts DVG up 1-0 in the tie breaks. And then we have Zazo versus Genius again. For the third time this stream. Why Nasty Plot there?
I mean, if Nasty Plot didn't Oko there, I can't imagine two Psychics would have.
You fish for the drop if you just Psychic. That's the advantage of just Psychicking raw.
Yeah,
but it's also like, if it isn't Swords Dance Lando, you can Nasty Plot, take the Earthquake, and then Draining Kiss it all back. So I understand that aspect of it. Like, if it's not Swords Dance Lando, then Nasty Plot always wins. And if it is Swords Dance Lando, you still need to, like, get a drop on Psychic or a crit. So
you don't know anything about this Landorus. It hadn't come out yet the entire game.
Yeah. But, like, you could also reasonably think, okay, there's no Booster Val or anything. This could be Scarf Lando. Like, there's a lot of stuff that it could be.
Yeah.
It could also just be Rocks, right? The other rocker is Bastiodon. So I don't think it's a wrong play. It's just he was Swords Dance and he one-shot with Earthquake.
I feel like maybe like 100, like when Zarude was locked into Power Whip or whatever, like maybe we could have just like gone Fortress and got up Rocks. But like it's hindsight. I don't know.
Battle of the low. Battle of the low tier is the next one.
Yeah, who knows?
Sorry.
I don't know. It's like a year-old game.
Yeah. Right.
The world may never know.
Game 2, ORAS.
Do we have to watch it?
Look away? No, not again.
Oh no.
Facade almost 2-hit KOs Klefki there. Might be a roll. He goes Whimsicott on the Fire Punch. No! My glorious co-captain.
Over.
This is so funny.
It's been more like 8-9 months, but like
yeah, this game was played in June.
Yeah.
Heatwave burn, so lucky. Swamper in on T-Wave is good. We can get rocks up.
But
now
the goose.
The goose is loose, and the Klefki will be sacked. Yeah, it doesn't even live the facade. But now Torn can come in, can just go for like a U-turn or a knockoff, something of the sort. Goes for Heatwave again. Sure, I guess. Looks like it's AV Lando though, so able to take the HP Ice, trade HP with Torn, but you're also just trading HP with a Regen Mon, so...
Yeah, that there's a real chance that doesn't last.
Yeah, it's all recoverable. Now Ice Beams into Drapion. Do we see a Draco follow-up? No, we don't. but no pursuit, so never punished. Rocky helmet in for an ape. Okay, so this is probably going to be Rock's Wisp kind of thing. Maybe Encore. Stuff like that. I would assume Wisp into this team. See a Heat Wave come off. And Fire Blast knocks out the Torn. Okay, so maybe it's just offensive with a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just sacking Monster Fun now.
I think
lake
it was
comes
kind
in.
of over at that point.
Oh, one
Whoa,
miss.
that's a huge miss.
Huge SD as well. Sneak gonna knock it out. Not even risking anything.
Maybe, is it Mega Gallade faster?
Well, it could be a slower
Gotcha.
Gallade set. Like, you could be running, like, Adamant with
Oh.
Sneak. A critical hit Moonblast?
That just kind of makes up for
I don't
the
think it-
Fire Blast match. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that puts you in quick attack range where you otherwise wouldn't have been.
Wouldn't we have been in anyway if like Fire Blast hit?
Well, yeah. Like,
Oh, I thought the Rachi flinch endgame. Oh, that's so much salt in the wound.
worst choke you've had in a while, Earthquake killed Clef. Oh, you P-jab into a Kibi area. Did you already have info on the Clef spread? You did, right? Because you attacked it with Heat Wave, so you know it's
Yeah.
Spadef. Yeah.
And didn't
100%.
reveal Magic Guard as well
Mm-hmm.
because of the burn.
Yeah, Earthquake would have been a lot better here. But yeah. Now Swampert versus the World. The World has won. Shout out to the World.
Sag.
And with that game, DVG wins DPL Season 8. There's one more game to watch, which is Sage versus Zooch, which is two good players, so we're going to watch it anyways.
I hope it's not meme game.
And Sneak kills Lottie. No, they probably just played because they already prepped and stuff. Me as well.
Yeah.
Real finals. Terra typings here. We have Bug Heatran. Is it Grass Abomasnow? And then Grass
Abomasnow's
Overcon.
Mega, isn't it? No, wait, this is...
This is SV.
Yeah, right. My bad. Got confused from earlier.
Oh, Sage loaded a troll team. Alright, we're not going to watch this then. But, yeah, that's going to be the finals of last season. Like, this is the kind of stuff you have to look forward to for this season. It's going to be so much fun, you know?
I might spectate. I'll
I mean-
definitely be watching some of them.
DPL is great for spectating. That's something I really try to focus on because I run the tournament. We try to make it as viewer friendly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
When is the auction? It's tomorrow at noon Pacific. So that's 8 p.m. GMT. Whatever other time zone you want. I don't know, just Google it. It's noon PST tomorrow. That's what? 16 hours, 15 minutes? Something like that? Who y'all are doing content this season? I plan on doing content, but also I plan on doing content every season. So we'll see how long that actually lasts. But I do plan on doing like watch party stuff. Live auction stream when? It's hard to do a live auction stream myself because I'm one of the people actually, you know, in the auction because I'm a captain. But maybe
if you ever took a season off.
Yeah. But if anyone else wants to stream the auction live, I know in the past we've had people like Ben do like a watch party and then he just uploads the VOD after. Not really a live stream, but just watching the call with friends.
Yeah.
That's always good content. I love watching that stuff back. It's very funny.
Oh. Nathan is going to be streaming Foxhole Fighters and DPL General in a little bit, if anybody wants to join that.
That's
by the way.
awesome. Just have Genius do the auction. I actually want a good team, though, you know? I kid.
Oh, damn.
Kidding.
You gotta take that lag down, Genius.
Wait. Aster is typing in the Season 9 signups. Wig Aster is typing. Please,
Wait,
please,
what?
please, please, please.
Please, please.
Please.
Yo,
Is he back?
we're so back.
He stopped typing. No. He's typing again. I'm on the edge of my seat. Not really. I'm just in my
Did
seat.
Did I leak to or Zado and Eddie and Nathan and I are Namen? Or should we save that for the auction?
Save it for the auction, of course.
Yeah.
75k on undead. Me
What
literally
is the
just
max
bans
bid,
genius.
by the way? Is 75 the max bid for a player? Or is it still 60? Oh, he's not typing anymore.
I think 75 sounds right. Let me
Mhm.
see. I think we have this built into the dock, right?
Yeah, I just don't have the dock open.
Yeah, the max is 70.
Okay, because I know it used to be 60.
It's 90 for the 90k for the single captain cores.
Oh, so I can spend 90 on somebody?
Yeah,
That
you
would be
can
fun.
spend 90 on undead. You can outbid us.
Yeah, I can do that. Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some really good signups the last day. Got Rob, Sammy,
Gypsy.
IDK up. That guy did well in DFL. Undead, Gypsy.
The Comets 21 guy, like I
and
know his
Aster
name. I
is
don't know
in.
what he was. Oh my god.
Will be
yeah.
almost entirely silent for games and help. 1 to 2 weeks at most available. No, at least he signed up. That's tough.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Does
I
that
think-
mean week 1 and 2 are the only weeks he's available, or what? Not sure.
that means he doesn't really have that much motivation to go around. So
No, I mean,
Yeah,
like, does that mean
like legally
weeks
he
1
can't
and
play
2
more
are
than
the only?
2.
But they could be any 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was asking. But still hyped that he signed up.
Why do some teams have higher budget than others? Because of the captain's self-buy. Like, only one captain can slot for these 3 teams in a given week, but in exchange they get 25k more to spend in the auction. So
Yeah.
self-buying your second captain costs 25k. Yeah, Darkrai, that kind of stuff is generally enforced, because otherwise it's just price fixing, right? Alright. Is there anything else we wanted to do with like DPL stuff?
I don't know. It's like I feel like anything like I would talk about it might be like kind of spoilable or
Yeah,
territory.
yeah.
You know, I don't want to give away my draft plans.
Exactly.
All right, how about
Give them all away.
why don't we get to who we think the highest player will be? You know, why not take a shot at that?
The most
try to get
expensive?
him out. Yeah,
There's a really good chance it's going to be JCM Shadow.
that would be my guess, but I think I'm gonna get Gypsy now that like he signed up.
Oh yeah, now that Gypsy signed up, that actually does become a question.
Yeah,
It's going to be one of the two.
I
Maybe
definitely agreed.
iPro could be up there, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely
Right.
JCM and Gypsy are going to be expensive. Rank every single applicant by aura? I don't think I'm going to do that. Is there anything else?
I
We went over the new draft boards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be pretty much it for me, I think. Thanks for coming out for the stream.
Yeah, Nathan will be streaming in an hour if anybody wants to watch him, you know.
Yeah, link to the DPL server is going to be in the description. You can sign up there if any viewers here are interested in participating in something like this.
Or if you
Yeah.
just want to spectate.
Yeah, throw your name in the hat, spectating as well. It's going to be a fun time watching. We make sure to run stuff like pick'ems. All the games will be linked. Stuff like that. Some YouTube stuff. Mounte's back in. Oh, he's so back. Let's go.
Wait, Mountaine's back in?
We must extend the stream.
Folks, if
Where did he
Mounte's
say-
back, Yeah, we're all back.
I don't see that.
He said it in chat. JK. Oh no. I've been
Rude.
blue balled.
Oh, this is so sad.
This is so sad for real. A guy goes 1-6 with Kron on it and just can't come back for round 2. I get it. I kid. Or do I? No, I definitely kid. Mount just edged everyone. Yeah, it can happen to anyone. Fun stream to lurk. Peace out. Thanks for joining the stream, LRXC. Good to see ya. And good luck in like ADV. I'm sure you're participating in that one. Emerald Open.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
All right. Peace.